Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close, I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever saw. It's right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about
I
it.
don't think I've ever said this before.
All right. So, a lot going on, folks. Government shutdown. Apparently, 8 senators on the Democratic side coming out, agreeing to the same exact thing that Chuck would have agreed to before. And Scott Jennings says, I think this was all about the special elections, just to show strength and use this as a story to win a couple of those elections. And then now they're going to go back and do the same thing. It was just a bunch of theater. And President Trump was at the Washington Redskins game. And while he's at the Redskins game and they're doing their thing, you know, there was some booing going on. Yeah. And we're gonna show that booing stuff that took place at the Redskins game. Congrats to the Dolphins. They beat the Bills, which was a miracle. We were there last night.
Miracle.
That was full-on miracle. Game. I don't know what happened, but good for them. Let me go through a couple of the stories for you guys that hope you guys had a good weekend. By the way, we started. You're late. What are you doing?
Wake up.
This entire time we've been here. Where have you been? You know what I'm saying?
Wake up.
This guy shows up once on time, and we get to go early. And Miami, Trump proposes radical healthcare shakeup that would bypass insurers and hand cash directly to who? To you, to make a decision on what you want to do with your health insurance. Housing Director confirms. Ready for this one? This is big. Administration working on not a 30-year loan, not a 40-year loan. They want to get a 50-year mortgage after Trump hint. Okay, 50-year mortgage loan. Cornell to pay $60 million to settle Trump's administration probe. Trump dismisses affordability concerns, insists prices are going down. Why lower mortgage rates aren't enough to make homes affordable in charts. Whopping wealth of Nancy Pelosi under scrutiny as it revealed she has earned $130 million in stock profits, okay, while in Congress. 17,000% rate of return. The GOAT, okay?
Of all time.
Nancy Pelosi made $130 million. Yes.
Now, she shared that with America, right?
Of course she did.
Social Security is just
at
fine,
Rolex,
right?
At the Patek store, at the Bentley store. Yes, Vance is the front runner for 2028. Rubio privately confides up to 20% of flights could be canceled in coming weeks if government shutdown drags on as airports endure first day of crippling reductions. NYPD already loses officers with morale plunging as anti-cop Zohran Mamdani prepares to take reins. Top New York City realtor fired for comparing Mamdani to Hitler, predicting City Hall will play Muslim calls to prayer.
Yeah, you can only compare Trump to Hitler. That's a law.
Yeah, Denmark's government aims to ban access to social media for children under 15 years old. Tech job flee California as H-1B visa, crime, tax, and automation drive workers out. Catherine Herridge inks deal for investigative video series with LA Times. Kanye West meets with Adam's friends to apologize for their past remarks, disparaging Jews.
Steps in the right direction, Kanye. I'm proud of you for meeting.
That's that one right there.
So funny.
And we got a couple other things here. Senate breaks Democratic filibuster and key vote toward opening the government. Trump says he'll send $2,000 tariff dividend to all except high-income people. Stimulus check, Tom, with that jacket, that means you won't be getting
Tom, you're not getting anything? He has to pay $2,000.
Tom's like Stefano Ricci addict. He needs to go to SA meetings. Yo, SA, yeah.
He's itching for like a new tie.
Stefano Anonymous.
I'm a Stefano. Okay, Stefano.
If they have one, I'm joining.
Yeah, so Richie. I'm wearing one as well today, by the way. We were just with them this past week. We bought a bunch
Vinny
of
and I
guys.
are wearing a Zara and H&M if you guys need to
we're
use
at
a discount code.
the store. Vinny takes a jacket, has my son wear it. My son walks up to me. Hey, were you wearing it or was he wearing it?
No, I gave it to Tico.
He's walking up to me. He says, how much you think this is? And the lady's panicking in the back.
She looked at me like
takes a picture of it. This is why it's for the 0.001%.
Sir, don't take that off the mannequin.
The jacket was $134,000. Let me say it again. $134,150. We got to add that $150. but the jacket was insane. Stefano Ricci, okay? So next, House Democrats fears that their Senate colleagues are caving on shutdown, unconditional surrender. Are stimulus checks being sent out in 2025? Latest news on claims. Donald Trump's new city-destroying nuclear missile is spotted for the first time as plane spotter photographs it on a hush-hush test flight. The pipe bomber story doesn't add up. Vinny's going to talk about that one. Newsom gives Trump a new nickname after president appears to nod off during White House announcement. Did he really? He nodded off during White House announcement?
Who did?
President Trump?
I didn't see it.
Rob, is that true or no, Rob?
Yes.
It looked like his eyes were shut. I don't know if he was asleep.
Okay. BBC expected to apologize after using doctored footage of Trump's January 6th speech in documentary report. They apologize? You think an apology is going to be plenty?
You don't think a lawsuit
And their lead
might
editor, just in, their lead editor resigned.
Who's lead editor?
The BBC.
BBC.
Lead
They
editor just
apologized.
resigned?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
doctored it.
As
Yeah,
if, as
lead
if that's
editor
going to
quit.
stop a lawsuit.
Oh, he quit
Yeah. Oh, well.
suddenly.
Okay. All right, so that's what's going on, and we got a few other stories we'll get into with a couple clips to show you guys. However, you know what tomorrow is? Tomorrow's Veterans Day. And what we want to do for the veterans who are watching this, we have a whole new series of merch for veterans. Rob, if you can zoom in into some of these guys here. Whether you're Army, we got an Army Future Looks Bright. We got, go a little bit lower, Rob, if you could. We got those hats with the Velcro. That right there, the Army Future Looks Bright patch is insane. Go lower, Rob. You know, Air Force, Navy, keep going, keep going, keep going. We got those green hats.
Oh, that one's
Those
sick.
green hats, they won't last long. Every time we have those, they disappear.
That's badass.
The one on the right, it's absolutely sick. On the front of it, it says Future Looks Bright. U.S. Armed Forces, Marines, keep going. And then you have the USA hat. That's another one. It's one of our most, I think it's the top 5 most reviewed hats of all time that you have right there. The USA with the, what do you call it?
Camouflage.
The camouflage on there. Armed Forces in the middle with the dog tag. 6 shirt. Keep going lower, Rob. Keep going lower. And you got the Army greens. The hats in the middle. And then go to the next one. That Angry Patriot shirt to the
Nice.
right. You got a bunch of stuff here. And here's what it is. Go to vtmerch.com, place your order, use the code VETERAN for a discount, VETERAN for a discount, and 10% of every purchase made will go to charities that are related to folks who are serving, and we have a handful of them that we're working with. Trust me, we're very selective on which one we go through. 10% of whatever purchase is made will go to different charities out there, and if you use the code VETERAN, you'll get a 10% discount as well. Some of those items are, limited supply that we ordered, so be sure to go out there and place the order for yourself. And if it's not you, you have a friend that went to the Air Force, the Army, the Marines, the Navy, gift them something from this that watches the podcast. Again, go to vtmerch.com, place your order using the discount VETERAN. Having said that, let's get right into it. All right. Rob, what videos do we have on the government shutdown? What videos do you have on the government shutdown? Because there's a bunch of different things going on right now on the government shutdown. We hear the video that comes out, the story saying up to 20% of flights can be canceled in coming weeks if the government shutdown drags on as airports endure first day of crippling reductions. You hear pilots talking about a bunch of different things. You hear pilots saying, hey, we have folks that are working right now that are not getting paid, but they're showing up today, et cetera, et cetera. And there was a rare Saturday Senate session that ends with few signs of shutdown progress. So as of right now, Rob, the latest thing we know is what? The fact that 8 senators have agreed. Is that the clip right there, Rob? Okay, there we go. Can you go back to it?
Yep.
So the government shutdown on October 1st. On November 9th, the United States advanced a funding measure by 60-40 vote. This is the first major bipartisan movement towards reopening the government. The measure would extend federal funding through January 30th, 2026 for some agencies, attach 3 full-year appropriation bill, agriculture, veterans affairs, and legislative branch as part of the broader package, guarantee a future vote in December on Affordable Care Act, health insurance tax credit issues, which has been a key sticking point. And it's important to know this, that with the Obamacare, Trump wants to give you the credit. He wants you to make a decision what you want to do with it, because all the promises Obama made that you're going to be able to keep your doctor, it's not going to be costing you anything, taxes will go up. We all know Obama lied on every one of those issues, and that's proven by the left and the right. So many federal functions that have been severely disrupted, the 900,000 federal employees, that have been working without pay. SNAP, which is impacting a lot of people's lives, especially immigrants that are here taking advantage of it. Who some of them that they're relying on you, the hardworking people, to take care of them. But Tom, where are we at with this?
Well, the Senate voted. You had to break the filibuster. You need to have 60 votes. And what the Senate did, they haven't ended the government shutdown, but they have put together something, and they're sending it back to the House, and the House is all upset. However, this should be good news. But check this out. Look at the 8 people that voted with the Republicans. Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada, Jackie Rosen of Nevada. Wait a minute. Both Nevada senators voted. Very interesting. We know Nevada was razor thin, and Trump got traction. Traction there used to be blue, but the election there. Also, look at this. New Hampshire, Jean Shaheen and Maggie Hassan, both senators from New Hampshire, went with them. And this guy, I'm really proud of this guy. Dick Durbin of Illinois went with the Republicans to break this. And then Tim Kaine of Virginia. Tim Kaine was Hillary's VP candidate.
Yeah, fantastic.
And then, of course, the guy we expected for the last 3 months to be at the Republicans, John Fetterman.
Yep.
So those were the 8 that went, and they went with it. What's interesting, if you look at it, I believe the Republicans got about 80% of what they wanted in the Senate bill, whereas the Democrats got about 20%. For instance, Dick Durbin came across when he said that Trump, that what they would put in there, and John Thune gets credit for this, lonely, not very charismatic, just very effective and just a good person, John Thune, apparently...
Senate Majority Leader you're talking about.
Yep, got everybody together. But, John Thune has never been like the Schumer, the Pelosi, the camera guy. He's always just kind of just there working. Mm-hmm. And he got it done. But here's what he gave back to Durbin. He said, I'll tell you what, this is what we'll put in. All the federal workers that were fired during the shutdown, not the ones that were fired during DOGE at the beginning when we started thinning things out, but all the ones that were fired during the shutdown will get their jobs back. And there will be a provision to give them some back pay, which shouldn't be huge in American people because that back pay thing is really just kind of started. It's not, well, some had started before, but it's not cataclysmic. It is to those people, but in terms of dollars to the U.S. taxpayer, it's manageable. So he gave that back, and Durbin said, okay, Thune, I'm in. And they went in. And so it was very sensible, but what's really important, I'll go back, and these are my estimates, Pat, I think the Republicans got about 80% of what they wanted. Specifically, they didn't want the Obamacare subsidies just to roll over as this $1 trillion wave on the American people. They got that. They got what Wade wanted. So I think the Republicans got 80%. I think the Dems got 20%. And people like Dick Durbin got the unionized federal workers get their jobs back. And so they got their 60.
Got it. So here's a tweet. No more money. Hundreds of billions of dollars to the Democratic support insurance companies for really bad Obamacare. The money must now go directly to the people taking the fat cat insurance companies out of the corrupt system of healthcare. The people can buy their own much better policy, much less money, saving for themselves an absolute fortune. President Donald J. Trump. And while this is going on, Scott Jennings, Rob, can you pull up the Scott Jennings clip where he's talking to Abby? And on that clip, do you know which one I'm talking about? I may have put it in the PBD podcast if you want to look for it. And he's saying, look, the reality of it is, you guys got what you wanted, right? You were able to use this as for the election. There you go. You were able to use this for the election, the special elections that was taking place. And watch how she answers this. Look at this. Go ahead, Rob.
Republicans going to use leverage in their fight with Democrats when the Democrats are actually the ones with the upper hand in the eyes of voters?
Oh, I'm sure Democrats will be more than happy to open the government now. The election's over. Right. I mean, part of the reason they shut it down was to get through tonight.
I would suspect they'll be glad to open it up by the end of the week. Adam Schiff, he was like, hold the line. AOC,
there's lots of rumors of people wanting to open it.
Look, I don't see what is the incentive for Democrats to back down when voters are basically saying Trump's not doing enough, it's the Republicans' fault, and then they basically handed the keys in this past election to the Democrats. Where's the leverage?
Again, these are blue states electing Democrats, not a shock. Sure. Democrats clearly wanted this shutdown to get through Election Day. I do think they are facing pressure from their internal coalitions. The unions, the air traffic controllers, the government employee unions are desperate to get the government back open. They're feeling a little bit of internal heat. But again, the election's now over. I'm sure tomorrow morning phones will start ringing and it'll be open soon enough. This was a political shutdown, and that's what they did. And now we're through the election.
So now, by the way, while this is going on, Rob, Adam, I'm going to come to you. I do want to show something, because what he said right there is these were all blue states. These were not this one, Rob. The other one, the one with the link, not the one that goes to X, but the one that goes to YouTube.
Okay.
That is showing what happens when they lose the special election. Yeah. And then if you don't mind, Rob, go fast forward to keep going. Go from right there. Go back a little bit. When that starts, play it from right there. Okay, so watch this. So now, is there any patterns to show what this means to midterms that's going to come up in a year? And watch what Enton says here. And by the way, whether you like Enton or not, he is fair, okay, when he's going through some of these numbers. So you can't just like him when the polls are good for you and then hate him when they're not. Watch this one here. Go ahead.
Do well. I mean, just take a look at the House special elections. Take a look here, the 2025 House special elections. Look at those in which Democrats outran Kamala Harris. There have been 5 House special elections so far this year. In every single one of them, across the board, Virginia, Texas 18, that was on Tuesday night, Florida 6, Florida 1, Arizona 7. From blue districts like Arizona 7 to red districts like Florida 1 and 6, what we are seeing are clear shift towards the Democratic candidates in all 5 of them, and we're talking about shifts on average, Kate Baldwin, of about or north of 15 percentage points from the 2024 presidential baseline, which is even larger than the shifts that we saw in both Virginia and New Jersey.
Watch what happens here.
Keep going.
And a million things can happen in the year until the midterms. With that caveat, what are you seeing?
A year is a very long period of time, but we've spoken about this. I like going through history. What do these...
Watch this.
Watch what magnesium does to your body.
Is this a joke?
Magnesium guy.
Magnesium, bro, stop it.
Your elections usually forecast for the year ahead for the midterm elections. Well, I mean, we take a look at the House special elections, right? If a party outperforms in House special elections 5 out of 5 times, what do we see? They have gone on to win the U.S. House the following midterm every single time since the 2005-2006 cycle. So when you see, of course, that the Democrats are outperforming in all of them, historically speaking, that means they go on to win the U.S. House of Representatives in the following midterm. And then, yes, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, yes, these are blue city in New York City, yes, the blue states in Virginia and New Jersey. But historically speaking, when you sweep all 3, you go back since the FDR administration.
Tom, do you agree with him?
Well, yeah, history is absolutely, he is accurately recounting history. And what happens is the special elections here usually are not about the candidates. If you go deeper into it, and I know exactly what he's talking about, and he is faithfully showing it without spin, so hats off to Mr. Enton. The issue is there's usually an overriding issue that goes beyond the candidates, because all those candidates are different, yet 5 out of 5 races move. Make sense?
Yeah.
So, wow, is this a candidate? So it also shows that the down ballot effect by Kamala Harris was actually negative, not positive. She had a negative impact on the down ballot races. In other words, she didn't help it at all. It's like, stay out of my state. I'm running for myself. I don't need your help. I don't want you here. Well, guess what? The issue right now, the number one issue, when you talk to all the core voters, and Enton has talked about it, I've seen polls on it, is affordability. That's the word. It's James Carville all over again. The core Americans is on affordability, and the mainstream media really did it's terrible, it's capricious, but they did a pretty good job of pushing economic down out there on it, on the American people and the American voter, and you've got these angry women under 40. Adam's talked about it. I've talked about it. The polls have talked about it. So those are the 3 things. Affordability is the top issue, the movement of basically angry women under 40, and then you've got the mainstream media that wouldn't get off economic topics.
Got it. Adam, thoughts?
The ghost of James Carville comes back.
Adam.
It's the economy, stupid.
So this whole government shutdown thing, to me, as we said, James Carville, the economy, stupid. To me, I don't even call it a government shutdown. I call it a government showdown. Because I feel like we've seen this. It's like Groundhog Day with with our tax dollars. Every year, every time they do these government showdowns, it's the same thing. It's theater, it's politics. They waited till Tuesday elections were done. And all it ends up being is a short-term fix. I'm so sick of these short-term fixes. Every year, it's the same movie. It's showdown time, continuing resolution time. What are we going to do? Filibuster time. And it's actually just getting annoying at this point. Can we get a long-term solution so we stop doing this every single year? We know this movie. We've seen it every single time. We know what the government's not going to shut down forever. And how many lives are affected when it's shut down for 40 days? It only started moving the needle after the election was over, one. And all of a sudden, everyday people are getting affected because their flights are getting canceled. So unless it affects people, the politicians have no problem basically playing chicken with your tax dollars. Once you start saying, dude, I just got my flight canceled. Hey, buddy, I'm going to miss a meeting. Can we get this thing figured out? That's when they'll start moving. Until then, they don't really give a crap because they're getting paid.
Of course they are.
Politicians are getting paid, but the everyday worker isn't getting paid. That's my biggest problem.
The old bill compared to the new bill is nothing. And the fact that I want Democrat voters to understand that your missed paychecks, your flights, your SNAP, and all that, it's because the left was using it as leverage so they look good during their runs with Virginia and all that nonsense. And even The Hill did a piece that said Democratic senators fear getting hammered after no kings for ending government shutdown. They have nothing. And you know, just like remember with the border bill, Tom, they were like, no, we're not going to give you what you want unless you give, billions of dollars to Ukraine, billions of dollars here, billions of dollars to Israel and all these places. And it's like, bro, like what? I don't like this hostage stuff, Adam. I agree with you 100%. Right. It's actually a hostage negotiation. But Tom, right now, the Republicans have the House and the Senate. I don't feel like they're doing enough to not only go after everybody that has been screwing Trump and screwing us for the past, 8 years. They're not doing enough to put stuff in place, Tom, that's going to last. You know what I mean? He makes a great point. Every year, this is going to change. Every year, they're going to keep doing the same thing.
Well, this is our government, but I think you have to remember the fog of what happened in the election is fogging over all the wins.
Yes.
Look at the wins that have been happening on international trade deals. Look at the wins that have been happening on rare earth minerals. Look at the wins that have been happening on energy, drill, baby, drill, and the cost of oil and heating oil. When the Northeast Democrat voters have lower cost heating oil this winter, I hope they remember who made that happen. Ooh. I hope they remember that was President Trump keeping his promise to drill, baby, drill, which translates to your fuel tank, to your airline ticket cost, and to your heating oil. I think all these wins are getting covered by the fog, and I think the administration needs to do a PR tour reminding us all of all the good things that happen, while at the same time they offer some concrete, dates behind all this 1.5 trillion coming in to build more jobs in America. When are those jobs coming? And to get after affordability. And I think if the president should go on the offense about this, he's got a lot of good stuff to talk about.
I do think the affordability is something that needs to be focused on. Every time we have Brandon on, when he talks about it from the, younger standpoint, these are guys that want to have families and want to get through the next phase. But one of the topics that was brought up is, who gets a lot of the SNAP benefits? And here's CNN. This fellow shows stats on what's going on with who is getting the benefits the most. This is Vinny. Watch this video here. Go ahead, Rob.
Illegal immigrants are not the reason why our healthcare system is broken.
Yeah, it's not deflection at all. In fact, I brought receipts. So here's the CMS, the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services, right here with their press release earlier this year saying they were having to increase their oversight on states like California who were abusing Medicaid and classifying it as an EUSA, an emergency system, when it wasn't. You've got the average state spends 5% of its Medicaid roughly on emergency services. California, 35 to 40%.
Wow.
Why would that be? Because California passed a state law that says we will fund Medicaid for illegals, and then, oh, by the way, we'll raise our provider taxes, and then, oh, by the way, we'll use that as a match to draw down federal funds. And they're using this whole cavitation process.
An accounting trick to put it on the taxpayer.
Money is fungible, and California's loophole is abusing it.
Listen,
All right, back from CNN. Ooh, that was a lively one. And they hate it when you bring receipts. But let's talk about that Medicaid thing for a minute, because what you have right now is a thing called the California loophole. Liberals hate it when you bring receipts, but the California loophole is real. And the reason why the left wants to get this whole spending package revised right now is because they want to be able to fund Medicaid for illegals like California is doing.
Pause, Rob.
The Center.
So you see, this is the thing about receipts when you bring them up in front of them, and then they don't have an answer for it, right? Tom, what do you think about what he just said right there?
He's exactly right. And we've talked about it on this podcast. You and I are from California. We speak of what we could actually see. And you had things like the hospitals that were downtown, South Central, or close to USC that were actually providing services to students, local residents, and yes, South Central Los Angeles. There's emergency rooms that close. Why did they close? Because California created Medi-Cal. Let's do the math and go through the steps that he's talking about. Medi-Cal says, okay, you do it. And when he talks about emergency services, he's talking about a bleeding, unconscious, shot, stabbed, car accident. They're not asking for an insurance card in those hospitals. They're taking care of you because you're a critical patient that paramedics are bringing in. Paramedics are there to preserve your status and stabilize you to get you to an emergency room. Emergency room does it, and then they find out, this person is whoever they are, but they have no insurance, no means of paying, no nothing. But the services were provided. That's Medi-Cal doing that. Then they use the loophole. He said the loophole to get the matching funds from the federal government. Did you hear him say that? Yep. That's how Newsom knows that the American people are paying the Medi-Cal gap to provide Medicaid services in the state of California. And then they put a tax on the hospitals. Remember we covered this, Pat? They threw a tax on the hospital and said, you can't charge more than 8 cents for an aspirin or whatever it was. And guess what happened? Emergency rooms closed. So thank you, Gavin Newsom. Your trick and what you did in California not only is a loophole and the tax on the people of America, you lost emergency rooms that went bankrupt in the communities that could use that loss the least. Yeah. That's what I think of that. He brought those receipts.
And so while that's going on, the president goes to the Redskins game, right? Washington Redskins. Just back in the days when they won the Super Bowl with Mark Rippon when they were the Redskins. He goes there, and this is what happens, the reaction to the audience at the Redskins game that he's at. I just want you to watch this, hear what happens. Listen to the booing, because this is all they're playing everywhere right now. This is a very viral, exciting clip for the people on the left. Go ahead, Rob.
solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That was President Trump at halftime of the Commanders-Lions NFL game, receiving significant and sustained boos as he was featured on the stadium's jumbotrons, swearing in members of the U.S. military to honor Veterans Day. Trump is attending this game in Maryland on the 40th day of the government shutdown, affecting so many people in this region. And it comes after ESPN reported that the White House has had back-channel communications with the Washington Commanders, where the president has expressed interest in having the team's new stadium here in D.C. named after himself. White House Press Secretary Caroline Levitt saying in a statement that it would, quote, surely be a beautiful.
Oh, my God.
It's unlike Trump to put his name on a building. That's crazy.
Yeah, but also think about it. That's D.C., okay?
Of course.
D.C. is the number one city where they have the biggest percentage of people making the highest salary on average, and they have the biggest percentage of people making the least amount of salary, the poorest people.
Weird.
It's the biggest difference on those two demos that you look at. So, of course, they're not going to like that. It's filled with liberals. It's filled with government employees. They're not happy about what's going on there. Rob, which one is this? What is this?
So this is during the game yesterday when the Lions scored a touchdown. The entire team did the Trump dance.
Stop.
And
He points at Trump.
And watch.
Stop. Yeah. He points at Trump. Yeah. Good. Right in everybody in Washington's face. You guys are trash.
You can pause it right. That's hilarious.
I don't know if you guys saw the flyover, but the flyover.
That was flyover.
It was epic.
Legit.
By the way, it was
Just
lower
gasoline, aluminum oxide all over everybody's face.
Look at this.
It's so bad.
Apparently, ESPN reported that the people at the operations at the stadium felt that was lower than they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, because when you look here, take a look. Look how low they're right over the stadium.
Good. Gangster.
High above Northwest Stadium.
Well, his butt was over all of them. They can boo all they want. His butt was over their head.
Yeah. So now
they
that
got full flaps out, just floating that bad boy.
Adam, now that let's just say the shutdown's about to be done. Now what are they gonna say? You know, is it gonna be? Is it really who can tell the story better? Is it all marketing, or is it really about people are going to find out that, no, this wasn't on Republicans, it was on Democrats. What do you think is going to happen, Adam?
As far as Trump in the RFK Stadium?
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is now, because they're booing because of shutdown, right? They're booing because some of these guys don't have jobs and, they're seeing what's going on. So
is that why you think they were booing?
I don't know. Why else do you think?
I mean,
I just think they don't like Trump.
Let's just say half of them are booing because they don't like him. The other half are booing because of the shutdown. But what do you think is going to happen when the shutdown's over with?
I think people don't care. So, of all the topics we discuss, how interested are we in the shutdown?
I'm pretty interested.
We're somewhat interested. It doesn't affect us. I think in D.C. they're so insulated in this bubble that they think that everyone's thinking about the shutdown. I don't think that most people thought about the shutdown until last week when a flight was canceled. Like I said, they see this movie the same time before. It's like the little boy who cried shutdown. Oh, we have a shutdown. Oh, really? Has it affected your life at all? Unless you're a government employee, unless you're actually collecting, you're on the government dime and on the government dole. Has the government affected your life? The government shutdown affected your life at all?
Or not a dime and dole, an honest paycheck like Vinny's.
Yeah, like my sister who's still
your sister
calling me and messaging me and saying, what's happening?
Space Force.
Yeah.
Space Force.
Yep.
So, as far as D.C., you can't trust what's coming out of there. That's
maybe let me ask this question.
Sure.
Did you think when he went to this game, did you think he knew that he was going to get booed like this?
I just don't think Trump gives a shit at this point.
I think so.
I think if Trump gets booed,
probably a number of government.
He knows he's going to get booed.
He knows he's going to get booed in D.C. D.C. is the most liberal city in the country.
There's a lot of unionized government.
Rob, pull up the most liberal cities. Who votes the most blue?
So he went in thinking he's going to get booed like this, Vinny?
I don't know. I don't think he likes. You know him. Like, you think he likes that? People booing him while he's reading.
He's a Teflon Don.
While he's reading that stuff to freaking soldiers, like and Veterans Day's coming up. This was like have some respect. I don't care if you hate him. He's reading this thing for the freaking for the soldiers. Like, what are you doing? Like, show some decency. But you can't ask.
It doesn't matter.
You can't
what
expect that from people in DC.
Doesn't matter what he's saying. It's who's saying it. Rob, do you have the most liberal cities in America?
Yeah, it's pulling it up right
now.
now.
Is DC number one, or is there something?
No,
above
New
it?
York City was number one.
New York City, Mamdani City, get out of here.
Yeah.
Where's DC rank?
It just says DC ranks among the most strongly blue jurisdictions in the U.S. based on presidential elections.
Yeah. I thought elections, it was Hawaii and DC.
Keep in
90,
mind,
to your point.
90% normally vote Democratic
90%.
in Washington.
Oh my God.
90%.
In 2020, look at that, Vinny. The Democratic nominee got roughly 92% of the vote in D.C. And the Republican got 5.4%. They hate Trump.
PBD. What is the definition of a monopoly percentage-wise?
55, 65%.
55%.
Yeah. And
70 is like, dude, call antitrust,
92.
call the lawyer.
92.
92%.
Wow.
So if you're operating in D.C., by the way, you have any friends in D.C. who says...
I don't have any friends in D.C.
You don't have any friends?
Not in D.C.
I have multiple friends in D.C. They say D.C.'s different.
You got a very
Trump has
important
cleaned it
friend in
up.
D.C. He works at the White House.
That's a very good friend.
It's a very
He's a
good
friend of ours.
and he likes you.
He's
he
a
likes
friend of
Benny.
ours.
He likes Benny.
Okay,
let's go to the next story. Next story is, guys, if you got big plans for 2026 with your investments, look no other than Nancy Pelosi, the GOAT.
best.
I mean, listen, she is like, folks, can you do me a favor? I'll give you guys 5 seconds. Get your pen and paper out and take notes. The legend's resume is about to be shown. And you know all of these investments she made was all due to research and intuition. It's all about her gut.
Gut feeling.
She's got that gut, the instinct, the intuition of a Warren Buffett on steroids. By the way, you're about to find out what their net worth was before they started investing to where they are today. Rob, please play this clip. The legend.
Reportedly raking in more than $130 million in profits from trading stocks during her 37 years in Congress. That's according to a new report by the New York Post. The former House Speaker saw a whopping return of nearly 17,000% while in office.
He almost had a heart attack.
Before taking office in 1987, a financial forum showed California Democrat and her husband reporting up to
their net worth was $785 stocks to $133
worth of stocks in their portfolio. The report comes days after the 85-year-old announced she won't be seeking re-election.
This is the kind of stuff that makes people just hate government, hate politicians. It's disgusting.
Is that compost?
I don't know why. She just
Duffy,
walks
she's
away
the
from it
best.
with nothing happening to her. That's clearly inside information. There's no way that's going to
Clearly.
It's a very, very profitable business to be in politics.
You know, can you pause it? What I don't like is every once in a while when you get a legend that comes through, people don't want to give her credit.
You have to tip your hat off to
listen,
her.
are you
have
kidding?
to.
She is possibly the greatest insider trader in the history of politics. Who do you put ahead of her, Tom? She's a legend. Why don't we recognize legends like her?
No, she's right up there on Mount Trademore. You know, she is number one up there. And I'm upset she's retiring. Why can't they just have her move her office across the street to the SSA, Social Security Administration, and manage the Social Security Administration Trust Fund? Why can't they do that?
I know.
You know, she'd be doing a service to people on Social Security like her. She's about to receive a Social Security check. Lord knows she needs it. You know, that's what I think. But you know what? Every now and then, there's an old saying.
Estimated net worth, 240 to 280.
I'll tell you, I don't know who said it. We can look it up and find out who said it. But it was the following quote, and I love it. Every now and then, an innocent man is sent to the legislature.
Every once in a while.
An innocent man is sent to the legislature. And when we hear all the jokes that we make, led by me, I do think it's really pathetic that we don't have conflict of interest or insider rules for our elected officials. And we make jokes about it. Comedians make jokes about it. Everybody makes jokes about it because it's this joke in plain sight. So Martha Stewart over a less than $200,000 gain, that's a lot of money. That's 2-3 years salary for people. But think about it. Martha did time for less than $200,000.
Yep.
This person made $133 million for the time she did in Congress. We got to give greater voice to the people that have been trying to put those bills. And there's been a couple of them this year, right, Pat? That people have been trying to put trader bills out there on them a couple times this year. And I think the Congress just needs to get serious. They'll never vote for line item veto. They'll never vote balanced budget amendment. But can you at least vote that there's no insider trading in Congress?
You think she's stepping away because of being age and done and health? Or you think she's stepping away because this Congress not being able to invest is getting so close that on both sides they want to pass it, that she just wants that to be gone and doesn't happen under her watch?
I think there's a little of that. There has to be a little of that.
Okay.
But Nancy is frail. You see her everywhere you see her now. She's holding the elbow of somebody who's like escorting her. It looks like a security person.
Man.
Exactly.
By the way, we're 40 years away from that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, and by the way, I'm just being observant, right? You observe where you see Nancy. The security people are people next to her. She's holding the elbow, just same way I do with my mom.
Yeah.
And so, number one, health-wise, it's time for her. Number two, you listen to the way she's reasoning, and you know what I'm saying? She's not as sharp as she once was.
Gone.
She's not saying wild-ass crap the way Biden was.
Not
and
Biden
she's
level.
not shaking hands with ghosts the way Biden was. But you can see the human frailty. Good grief, she's 85 years old. But Pat, I also believe that's the last thing she wants on her legacy is to have one of those things passed and to have her accounts be the first one at the top of the list for a congressional hearing. She don't want that.
I have a different take on why, but it'll be a later story that I'll bring her back up.
Adam.
So, PBD, can you do some math with me real quick? So she's been in office 38 years. She's made, 170,000%? 17,000%?
17,000%.
Okay. $133 million in profits.
Yep.
So maybe I'm doing the math wrong. 17,000 divided by 38 years, right? That would give you an average rate of return each year. Is that how you would do it? Comes out to 447% a year. How would you do that math?
If that's a straight return, yes, but you have to use compound interest.
Yeah, you have to compound
so,
it
so
back.
to ask,
yes.
If I started with $785,000 in an account in 1987, and now I have $133 million in that account.
What's my CAGR?
What has been my
cumulative annual growth rate, CAGR?
Okay. So I think it's still a big number, by the way.
What's the number?
It should be a big number because you're dealing with compound interest is what you're dealing with. But 15% per year. Your
That's
CAGR
it?
is 15% per year from 785. Rob, what is it telling you?
I have the numbers wrong. 785 and the total is 130?
$130 million. So she is 167x'd.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm trying to find out is what is the annual
average rate of return?
Yes.
Right? Because the average annual return of the S&P 500,
see, it says if you want, I can do the annual. I can give you the CAGR and
Yes.
say yes.
Because Tom, the average annual rate of return is 8 to 10% from the S&P 500, right? Depending on inflation, depending on
14.46% is what she's.
So it doesn't seem like an
14.7%.
absurd number to average 15% a year, does it?
15% a year, no. But the part that sounds absurd, you have to also realize that's how much is in the portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
They're guesstimating their net worth is around $250 million. You're
So meaning
assuming
outside of the
you're
portfolio as
assuming
well.
the 785 they never took money out to buy a house or buy weddings and all this other stuff
buy
that they
an
have
election,
to do.
you know.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
I would say they're probably at 30 to 40% rate of return with some of the activities that they had. That's been a little bit suspicious.
And specifically, I know we kind of clown on Paul Pelosi after that rendezvous with the hammer. What does he actually do
hammer's
for work?
$22. So.
What does he actually do for work? Because everyone, piles on Nancy. But what does her husband do? Because I assume he's the moneymaker in the family.
He just invests and does that type of stuff.
Okay, what do you mean he just invests?
That's what he does. He doesn't
They're
have a
worth
job.
$250 million.
Yeah, she keeps him off and he
so
invests.
he's a venture capitalist and he's
He's a listener of Nancy Pelosi. He just listens to what she gets from the insiders, and that's what she does.
I mean, it's her husband.
Yeah, she's in Congress for
So
how long?
why
She
has
gets the
nobody,
scoop.
if she is doing something illegal, do you think she's done something actually illegal and broken the laws? Or are our Stock Act laws so gray that politicians can just maneuver within this with no accountability and you can just yell at them and call them frauds, but nothing actually happens? Which one do you think it is?
So has she actually broken the law? I can't say yes or no, but I can say this. You know what I've been doing with Autopilot since July 1st.
Yep.
I went in and looked at those lists of things and the things that were bought, and Palantir showed up and came and went, before the announcement on Congress. And remember, they're reading off all of the forms that have to get filed. And so the interesting thing about all this is that you can see the trades happening there, and CNN and others and Fox have pointed out trades that were made by our elected officials, and then 3 weeks later there's a bill that says, oh, you and you get the government contract to do
I guess
security.
this is the main thing, Tom.
So I can't say yes, she broke the law.
It's
but
a
I can say
very
that's
basic question
pretty
for you.
suspicious.
The basic question for you is the following: Do you think people who are in office, who have access to information that you don't have, they should be able to invest in a market based on information that they have?
No.
Should they be able to invest in the market? Yes. Should they be able to actively trade based on information? Hell
How do you
no.
manage
can tell the
that?
difference,
How do you manage
So
that?
you put it in the index fund and that's it. I feel like there should be a rule that you cannot do active trading, right? Because there's passive investing.
That's what she's doing.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I assume that who's the Republican version of Nancy?
Oh, there's plenty of them.
That's my point.
No, this is not a left
She's the
thing.
poster child of this. This
yeah,
isn't a
but
left and
she's
right
the
dilemma.
highest ranking person to do what she's done at the levels that she's
No
done.
doubt.
Yeah.
She's the poster child
Yeah.
for this. But there's Republicans
Of
guilty of
course.
this as well. Who is it?
Romney is, Romney was a successful guy before. Yeah.
Correct. With Bain Capital, I believe.
But you could have a few other guys here that could be on. Like Mitch McConnell is a good one.
Perfect.
Okay, but look at Mitch McConnell's profit. How much was that?
$6 million.
Okay, look at hers.
Yeah, come on.
They're not in the same league. 24.1 million.
What I'd be
just
most
greedy as
interested
hell.
in hearing is what politicians from the left and the right are saying about this. Who was our buddy that was here that's the representative in Silicon
Ro Khanna.
Valley? Ro Khanna. Isn't
Yeah.
he actively talking about something like this? He wants to stop the stock.
Yes. Yes, it's not
I would
only
love to
him,
see
though.
a bipartisan
AOC
approach.
is, a few different people are on both sides. Even Anna Paulina Luna that was here the other day when we spoke to her, Tom.
Senator Mark Kelly set up an ethics
Mark Kelly,
committee
Arizona.
approved blind trust and demonstrated that he had moved all of his assets into the blind trust. And the blind trust purpose is for the independent financial advisors to trade limited transactions, and he is not part of the decision-making process. Mostly were related to REITs and indexes.
Bingo. So I love that you highlighted one word, limited. You said limited what?
Yeah, they limit the trades. They limited
Correct.
the trade flow.
Because in an index fund or a passive fund, you're not in and out of the market. You're not trading based on information or new stock that might come up. The active tradings, I think, is where people get in trouble. Oh, yeah, I really heard about this. I feel like they should put a law or some sort of guideline. You cannot trade in and out of stocks. That's where you take advantage of this.
So here it is. So
here's
U.S.
a different one,
politicians
Mark Kelly,
on trying to ban or restrict lawmakers from trading individual stocks because of concerns about access to non-public information.
Exactly.
John Ossoff, Senator Georgia, he's a Democrat, sponsored the Senate Ban Congressional Stock Trading Act. Then you have Mark Kelly, Arizona,
There's
who
the guy
is
we just talked
also a Democrat, work with Ossoff on the same thing. Then you have Josh Hawley as well, Republican, out of Missouri, who has joined it as well. You got Dean Phillips that I think he wanted to run for president.
Minnesota,
yeah.
yeah.
Minnesota, co-sponsored it, and then Ro Khanna, who we talked about earlier.
What?
I disagree
Michael
with a lot
Bennett
with
is
Ro
working
Khanna,
out.
but he would know in his
The
district.
individual stocks is where you get into hot water. Because I think a politician, if they have a 401k, listen, a politician, this is how they're supposed to have retirement money, right? In their 401k or 403b or whatever it's called in Congress.
Like anybody else.
Yeah, they should be in an index fund. They should be in an ETF. They should not be able to trade individual stocks. And then there's no conflict of interest. If you're trading in out of stocks, that's where it kind of comes into all this. And then they should have a target
the
date
longest pause you've ever taken in your
I was
life.
like this.
Like there was a brain. I
But
felt
yes,
like the brain stopped.
And I went like this. I went.
Yeah.
Because here's also
Get this man some
exactly.
coffee, folks.
Most people pray for
Holy
weeks.
Because
shit.
you know how when you invest in the market, PBD.
This is brought to you by ephedrine.
Exactly. Hello, wake up, Adam. Just had some
Drip
coffee.
fuel.
So when Warren Buffett says, "Listen, put your money in S&P 500 and just invest in America," but that's not your only component of an asset
Let's
allocation.
get past the story.
Let me just ask you one question,
Go
PBD.
ahead, Rob.
What percent of your asset allocation is in an American funds, American companies, versus international?
I am pro-America. I am very little international.
I just traded.
Yeah.
So I have my money with Fidelity. Apparently, if you want to do a world index, like a world conglomerate, what do you call it? They mandate that you do 2/3 of your portfolio into America and 1/3 into international. I'm speaking to my guys. I said, let me ask you guys a question. Over the last 10 years, what has been the rate of return for the S&P 500 versus whatever you're calling the world index that has emerging markets and everything? And basically it was double the rate of return, America versus the international. I go, so why am I invested in international at all? They go, well, we want to diversify. I go, F your diversification. Put everything 100% into America.
Damn.
Everything. So what's my point? Every single one of these politicians should be in an ETF, S&P 500, all in America. I don't need you investing in emerging markets in India. I don't want you talking about a new company in Bangladesh. 100% of their stock allocation should be in America, and you should not be able to actively trade in and out of it.
Let's
That's
go
my
to the
point.
next one. Good point. So next one to get into. Here's the next one. So Housing Director confirms administration working on a 50-year mortgage after Trump hint.
Oh, my God.
50-year mortgage? Yes. 50-year mortgage. What would it look like? Go ahead, Rob.
Trying to find an answer on affordability for housing, which right now we're seeing one of the worst housing markets that we've seen in recent times. And so the 50-year mortgage is a play to lower people's monthly mortgage payments. But the downside is, especially early on, all of that payment will be going to interest. And of course, since you're paying over 50 years and not over 30 years, you're going to be paying off that mortgage for a lot longer. So the details are still to be worked out, but it looks to be like the president's looking for a quick fix to a market that is fundamentally broken right now.
Okay, so this guy's a Democrat, right? Because you see the back, if you zoom in on the books, you'll see the New Deal. Go back a little bit, right? You see it to the left, he's got the New Deal. You can always tell what books they're reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crash.
Do you know, while this guy's saying this, it's so funny. Do you know who came up with the 30-year mortgage?
Who?
Do you know who came up with the 30-year
Who's
mortgage?
that?
I want you to think about, can you right there, Rob? Can you pull that up? Here's who came up with the 30-year mortgage.
FDR.
Yeah, FDR came up with the 30-year mortgage. So did you say the same thing back in the days, fellow? I don't know what your name is, but, well-spoken guy a minute ago.
Crashed.
So he did 30 years. Trump's going to 50 years. By the way, Tom, the question is, if you're a bank, if you're a bank, would you get into the 50-year business game? Would we do that knowing you're collecting the interest up front? Would you entertain the 30 versus 50? Because how do you set it up? You still have to find a way to make it profitable for the banks, right?
Right.
So the bank has to get their money, or else there's no incentive for them to want to sell this loan. Okay? What would be the incentive for banks to sell 50-year loans?
Well, as long as they felt that the underlying asset wasn't going to drop. Now, so here's what the bank has to do. Your house is the collateral. You stop paying Vinny, I'm going to take your house, I'm going to sell it to the next guy. That's what a bank will do. We'll auction it. He'll auction it off. Now then, what it means, Pat, is the first 10 years of that 50-year loan, the bank has to underwrite it and be comfortable that that house won't decline in value. You follow that? Because not much will be paid off in 10 years, Pat. Not much at all. So if you and I, Tom and Pat's bank, and we do a 50-year mortgage, our underwriting has to say, are we sure that house is not going to go down in these first 10 years?
Yeah.
Because if we have to seize the house and auction it, we got to make sure that that house is worth more than the loan's worth. So it makes the front end underwriting has to be more certain for the banks. But I just did a little analysis. 30-year, $400,000, 6.25. $2,462 is the payment. 50-year, 6.25, $400,000, $2,179. So about a $300 difference on a $400,000 mortgage. However, next to no principal is paid off in those first 10 years. Very little. And then it accelerates. So for the banks, more people will qualify using standard, ratios and measurements, but the bank better be sure that those houses don't drop in those first 10 years.
Rob, go back to where you were at right there a minute ago. Watch this. So this is 30-year payment, 30-year loan, 360 payments. Your main payment will be $2,684. Total interest paid for was $466. 40, $2,400. So you save maybe $150, $130. No, you save $270, and eventually end up paying $658,000, $200,000 more.
A scam.
And then 50 years is $2,272, which is $142 less of the 40-year, and you end up paying $863 long term. So,
what's the price of the house?
Yeah,
is that based on $500,000? What is this?
I think
that's a $500,000 loan. It's a $500,000 loan is what you're looking at.
So it's a $500,000 house.
So
and
you're
what's the interest rate that you put on this, Rob? 6%?
5% fixed.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not even 5% right now. Gotcha. What would it be on a 15? What would it be on? Okay, PBD. I mean, you already know where I stand on this. What you're doing. I know you're running your numbers. What are you thinking on this right now?
Well, here's the thing, Adam. I've never lost money buying a house because the math on buying a house is the following. Here's the math on buying a house. Okay, let's just kind of do. If you just do the flat interest, you're not making a lot of money. If I buy a $600,000 house, how much down payment am I putting on a $600,000 house, Tom? If I got a 750 credit score,
a $600,000 house, you'll have to put down about
10%,
120.
20%, okay.
20% you have to put down?
Okay, let's just say, let's just type in, Rob, if I have a $600,000 house, 750 credit score, how much down payment would I need to put down? Can I do 10%?
My boy Vinny's going to get a
VA. Like there are some states who give you a first-time home buyer
that's what I'm first time. Let's just say 10%.
Yeah.
So if I do first time, I'm putting $60K down,
and
right?
you have to pay P&I.
So I'm financing $540 is what I'm financing, okay? So now, what is the rate of return on real estate the last decade?
5%.
Okay.
If that.
But what I'm saying is fine.
Sure.
Go 5%. If we do 5% on that $600K, 5% on $600K over 10 years, 6 to 7% average. Let's take 6%, okay? So what is the price of this $600,000 house come 10 years from now? What's the price of this $600,000 house come 10 years from now? At 6%. So say if I bought a $600,000 house and it grows at 6% every year, what is the property value 10 years from now? 7% will be 1.2 million. So I'm probably going to say 6% is going to be just 980. Let's just say
just under $1 million. I would
980 say. Is what it should be. 1,074,000 dollars. Okay, so $1,074,000. You just made $574,000 on that money. Okay, $574,000 on the $600K. You put $60,000 down. What's your monthly payment on that, Rob? Just say, what is your payment on a $540,000 loan at 6%, 30-year fix? Let's just not even say 30-year fix. Tom, let's say we do a 10-year adjustable.
Yep, I'm doing it.
Do a 10-year ARM, okay? 10-year ARM. So 540.
Vinny, an ARM is an
6%.
adjustable rate mortgage. It's not a working out bicep. Gotcha.
So what is the payment on that? Everything 32, 30. So let's actually do the math right now. So I'm and then Rob, can you do me a favor?
I just
ask what is the rent? What is the average rent nationwide? Okay, what does a $600,000 house average get in the country today? We're gonna actually do the math very deep right now.
I love it.
So go. What does a $600,000 budget get you? How big of a house does a $600,000 budget get you in America on average? We're not saying Toledo. We're not saying Beverly Hills. I'm saying Toledo.
How big
average.
of a house?
Yeah, like I'm getting married. I got a wife and kids. I want to have a family. How many bedrooms is that? 2576. Okay, 2576.
3 bedrooms.
I think that's 4.3. I think that's 4.3. Okay, Rob, can you then ask the following question? What is the average rent for a 2,576 square foot home in America? We're getting very deep. If you notice what I'm doing right now.
Exactly.
Okay, because I know where you're going, and I'm going to do the math as deep as you want to go with this here right now. So the average rent is what? $1,754. Okay, so now notice the $1,754 for 908. So what is the average rent for?
What does that say? $5,900. What is that?
$5,900 rent. Holy shit, that's a lot.
Extrapolate.
2,500 square foot home though.
Okay, I that's a lot of rent, Rob.
Holy moly.
So why don't we? Damn. So I don't think it's going to be $5,900.
Or mortgage.
No, I want to do rent.
Okay.
What is the average rent for a 2,570 square foot home in America? Give me average, not high or low, but average. Okay. I don't know if you're getting this number or not. We're getting to the bottom of it. This number, that number should be $2,100. Still saying the same number, right? It's telling me the same number as well. What number do you guys want to pick? Let's pick a rent.
I wrote 1,900 before it came out because that's the stuff I've been reading.
Okay. Can we just say it's $2,000 a month? Let's just say the average rent right there is $2,100 a month. Let's go with $2,100 a month. Okay. So what's $2,100? What's 3238 minus 2,100? 3238 minus 2,100 is 1138. Now take 1138 times 120 because you know what I'm doing. Adam, are you tracking or no?
I'm doing some numbers here.
1138 times 120, Vinny, is...
Vinny's face was... by the way...
You guys cut.
Stop. Just stop.
Are you guys still... I'm going to come back
but
down.
do you know what we're doing, Vinny? This is very important.
Vinny's face was like this.
So watch this.
I'm tracking because I'm paying
So here's where I'm at now.
rent.
Here's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
I'm at 100. I'm just showing you this. We're at 136,560. Okay? So if we take that 6% concept, that the value of real estate makes an average return of 6% every year. Over 10 years, your $600,000 house you bought will be $1,074,000. $1,074,000 minus, minus, can't believe we're getting this deep in a loan, but let's do it anyways. Minus $600,000. You've made $474,000 in return. If I take $474,000 minus, Vinny, $136,540 that you would have paid at a $2,100 rent, 10 years later, owning a home would have gotten you $337,000. Let's add the $60,000 down payment to it as well. I mean, you're making $397,460 buying a house versus renting a house over 10 years.
But let's go deeper.
Go.
Let's extrapolate it, Adam.
So,
go ahead.
Your argument, or not your argument, the argument is you're not going to lose money by buying a real estate. It's almost like buying a bond.
There's a lot of caveats, buddy. So, but I want to hear you. Go ahead. Make your argument.
So What's a better
That's
rate
another
of
3 second
what's
pause.
a better?
You're on.
You're going Bidenville,
guys,
bro.
Get this guy some brain.
You're gonna,
To be honest with you, I
you're
haven't
gonna
had
start
my coffee
shaking
this
hands with
morning.
the camera.
It was Rory's 13th birthday. I went all
Yeah.
out yesterday.
Go ahead,
I'm struggling
tell us.
right now. You know that. The argument is not, is buying a house a good investment? It is a okay investment. I'm not shitting on the investment. I don't think it's a bad investment. I'm not recommending that you don't do the investment. I'm saying if you're
but
if
stop,
you're solving for
stop,
rate of return,
stop.
Sure, go ahead.
Stop. Based on this argument,
Sure.
we did it as
technical as
possible.
Correct.
I'm willing to bet we lost viewership right now. Let me just see where people are
They're
probably like,
extrapolating.
stop talking about this. I don't want to talk about this.
Figure out what the hell they're doing
I'm telling
with
you
housing.
right
Yes.
now, Adam.
Yes.
Okay. This is my advice to people.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the area where you're working for a company, like if I'm working for Marriott,
Mm-hmm.
say I'm working for Marriott and my goal is to be a general manager running a hotel one day. Guess what I'm not doing for 10 years? I'm not buying a house.
Correct, because you could be moving around.
I'm going to be moving.
Fully
We're
agree.
opening up a new Marriott in London. Do you want to go? No. I'm not going to get stabbed, but I'll go to Dubai, right? Do you want to go to a new Marriott that's coming? Yes. If your job requires potential promotions to move. For me, when I was PHP, I know I'm moving. As crazy it is, I bought a house eventually in that community that we lived in, Trammell Estate. You've never been to it. Tom has been to it. I bought the cul-de-sac. And I bought it right next to the Barry Bonds agent. So we love this community. There's 21 homes. I rented a house in the community. I bought the house in the corner. 2 years later, I'm leaving. You remember that time? 2 years, I'm like, shit, I'm going to Texas. I still made $200,000.
Mm-hmm.
I still made $200,000 when I bought that because it was prime property, cul-de-sac in a gated community with only 21 homes. Then we go to the house in Dallas. You've been to our house in Dallas. Did you go to both of them or just one of them? Did you go to the other house? The 4-story, 15,000 square foot home? You didn't go to that one.
I didn't go to that one.
Okay. So the one, but the other one you went to, right?
With the
yes,
pool table.
Yes. The other one you went to.
Yeah.
We made money on that one.
Yeah,
The house we bought here, we made money on this one. If a person's buying long term, you have, like, if this is what I did for a living financial advice, you're sitting down doing the math with them. When you get to the bottom of it, the question is simple. Are you planning on living in this place for 10 years? Yes. Then I would lean more towards buying than renting. If you tell me no, then I would say pump the brakes.
Yeah.
That's really how simple
we are
it is.
fully on the same page. Fully on the, I have zero disagreements. So my contention is never don't buy real estate. I've never said that.
This is as thorough as a breakdown we could have done for the
Can I ask
people
you a
that are
very
watching.
specific question?
Of course.
If you can put these three, your PBD's money. We know 150 million ain't what it used to be.
It ain't what it used to be.
PBD's money. If you could put the following three things where you've made the most money.
No, it's not close.
Working on a business, your stock portfolio.
That's a different conversation.
Or your housing portfolio.
Yeah.
What rank those three for you?
I'm not everybody, though.
I'm saying for you. I want to know you.
I know. A guy asked me, if you could define yourself with one word, what would it be? And it can't be politics or family, non-family. I said operator.
Mm-hmm.
I love the day-to-day grind.
I agree with you.
You know since what time I've been at the office today? You don't even know what time I've been at the office today. Yesterday I was at Naples. Dylan had a game. I went to the championship, coming back, and I've been dealing with a bunch of chaos this weekend. PHP was here the day before Saturday. 7:45 I'm at the office. You know what time my Saturday ended? You know what time my Saturday ended? 2 o'clock in the morning. My day started Saturday, 7:45 in the morning. It ended Sunday, 2 o'clock in the morning. I come home Sunday, 2 o'clock in the morning. Then I got to get doing stuff with the kids to go to the. So I'm back and forth. But I freaking love being an operator, right? But that's not everybody. If somebody's watching this right now who has a job making $82,000, your wife makes $59,000, they're trying to make a decision. Do we listen to the people that are saying it or not? And you know there's not going to be a massive amount of changes in your life the next 10 years. Massive. If there is, then you have to adjust accordingly. But if you know it's going to be, I'm going to be with this company long term, I love it here. This is what I'm going to be doing. This is the industry I'm going to be on. This is the city I'm going to live in, probably within a 5-10 mile radius. Then guess what? Lock it up and get something if you can afford it. Because and then by the way, guess what else you have to be thinking about? Never has there been more important time, Tom, to buy a house in a community, in an area based on politics than today.
Oh, man.
Do you know what just happened right now with California and Texas? Folks, let me tell you what happened with California and Texas. This whole thing with the elections and all this stuff that they're saying going into midterms, Do you know what California and Texas just did with redistrictings? You know Prop 50 and what Texas did? Do you know what they did? Guess what's going to happen? Texas protected themselves. We're going to stay Republican for many, many decades. Come do something about it. And you know what California did? We're going to stay Democrat for many, many decades. Come do something about it. A-Rod's being interviewed, and he's being asked, what areas do you buy properties in? And he says, red states. Why red states? Because people are moving to red states. What are red states? Pick them. Pick them. Tennessee, Florida used to be purple, now it's red. Texas, what are you investing in? So, you know, these are the types of decisions you got to make with your family and say, where are we going to go buy a home long term? But if it's 10 years, I'm banking on buying a home instead of renting a home, because 10 years later, that family is going to have an additional $400,000 of net worth added to their name that they wouldn't have had. All right, let's go to the next story. Next story. Boom, boom. Where's that one story, Vinny, you wanted to get to?
Jan 6?
Yeah, I'm going to go to, you want to go to that or you want to go to the Newsom one?
Which one you want?
Okay, let's go Newsom. Newsom gives Trump a new nickname after president appears to nod off during White House announcement. So what happened here? Is this a real nodding off, Vinny, or no?
I honestly didn't even
Rob,
see this.
do you have a clip or no of this?
I don't have a clip of that. I do have a clip of Newsom talking about SNAP benefits where he recites Bible verses.
Oh, this really bothered me.
No, this is Gavin Newsom.
He called him the Nod Father.
The Nod Father. California Democrat press 6 months nodding off at various occasions above the words Nod Father and a golden. Some movies saw this, had to share its social media post. 79-year-old president struggled to keep his eyes open Friday during a televised event at the White House where several administration officials announced lower prices for weight loss drugs. People can sleep again because they can breathe when they go to bed. Dr. Oz said this. And so what is he talking about here? Is this actual story with the Nod Father?
It's all BS.
Pat,
okay.
This is the same guy, Pat, that said Joe Biden was the best, and he's doubled down 1,000 times. For the first time in 9 years, Donald Trump kind of closed his eyes, kind of did that.
You're right.
I've never had this type of feeling towards any politician, and I'm going to keep doing it because as these years, by the way, it's happening. We're 1 year past. It's going to be 2028.
Yeah. Tom, look
at him.
That's it.
Oh my goodness. An 80-year-old guy got a little, maybe, yeah. Oh my, it's over, guys. It's over. This is the same.
What is Newsom trying to say here?
What do you think? The Nod Father. He's trying. Let me explain something to you. This guy is. I've already called it. I said he's going to be the front runner. I mean, it's no secret what he's doing. He just went overseas. Now he's in Texas. He has the freaking audacity to put the American flag behind him. He's the most un-American person out there. I love that you're saying, Pat, who's going to California? And it still boggles my mind. People like Bill Maher, and I get it. You're in California. Your show's in California. You love Gavin Newsom. His words exactly. I love the guy. Because you have the money and you can afford it. But the rest of the freaking people in California are bleeding out. And there's a clip. And is this the one, Rob, about
God's will, Scripture?
No. This one right here, Robbie. Is this the one where he says we have to democratize the economy? Is that one it?
Is it
this one right here? But listen to this. Look what he has to do. Listen to this.
Is we've got to deal with the issue of our time that we have to democratize this economy if we're going to save democracy. You can't have 10% of people owning 2/3 the wealth in this country. You can't have that 30-year-old that's doing worse than his parents' generation for the first time in U.S. history. And so those are fundamental issues that were obviously present in this election on Tuesday. And Donald
Rob, you
Trump,
can stop it. So, Pat, he said Trump has done nothing to cater to his billionaire friends, and the result, folks that working at Amazon are paying 12% more, Target, blah, blah, blah. Here's the problem. The majority of California pays over 11% in sales tax, no matter how poor they are, thanks to Gavin Newsom. It has the highest gas prices in the nation, an electricity crisis, sky-high insurance costs, and if people even get coverage anymore, that's thanks to him, okay? And he turned one of the most beautiful states in America that you lived in, that he lived in, that I lived in, into a nightmare for the middle class, okay? He's choked working families with endless taxes, regulations, fail policies. Let's forget about COVID. Let's forget about the response for the Palisades. And there's over 190,000 homeless people in California, guys. They look like freaking third world zones, these cities in California and San Francisco. Instead of making California healthier and wealthier, he's made them poorer, sicker, and hopeless. And now, Tom, I've been dying. Last night I thought about you about this clip. Rob, can you go to the clip with him talking about, besides him having the flag behind him, which I think is a disgrace, this serpent trying to talk about God and scripture. No, Adam, this drove me through the roof. You think he's a Christian? You think Gavin Newsom is going to church? You think he's professing his faith to people? The fact that he was trying to use SNAP and food stamps with the Bible drove me nuts. Go ahead, Rob, play this.
States, but think about the state of mind of the vice president. How do they honestly, how do you square the circle when you go to a prayer breakfast? How do you square the circle? I mean, Old Testament, New Testament. Well, what's the fundamental thing that connects from John to Matthew to Proverbs? It's this notion of hunger, feeding the poor, the sick, the tired. It's not
he doesn't even know this.
Option. It's central to advancing God's will. I mean,
God's word.
Fundamental point that we'd be using.
Look at
this
him.
Is what it's about. And the federal government said it in the lawsuit, that they want to use it as a bargaining chip to end this shutdown. That's shameful. It's never happened in U.S.
Okay, Rob, you can stop it. I never thought the day would come that this unholy serpent, the fact that he's trying to go to scripture, like to justify the government's decency, to me, it's sick. And guess what? Because he's talking about these people deserve this money, right? In the Bible, and I know what you're going to say, this is what it says in regards to work, responsibility, and self-reliance. In 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10, if anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat. Paul said this to his believers who stopped working.
Not crippled, but if not willing.
Not willing, meaning you don't want to work. Well, he incentivizes illegals to come because they're votes, Tom. And then in Genesis 2, verse 15, the Lord took the man and put him in the garden to work and to keep it. You have to work. All right,
First thing he did with Adam after he created it, he gave him a job.
Go to work. Before sin even entered the world, God was like, hey, Adam, nice. You like the bushes? Get over there and work. And the last one was Proverbs. Lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. God honors the worker, not the idle. This guy, his entire party, I want everybody to understand, is bring illegals, give them money, and they vote for you, and that's it. Period.
So part of Gavin Newsom, he's running for president, and you expect him to say certain things.
Yes.
But when he tries to cross over and do this, he's going to get called to receipts, and the receipts have never been greater than on the pages of Scripture. And he is attempting to use Scripture to make his point. Well, I'll tell you, there was a time when Jesus was tempted. Satan came to Jesus and attempted to use Scripture with him. He took him to the desert for 40 days, and he said, you can make these stones turn into bread. Why don't you do that? And he says, look, the scripture says man does not live by bread alone. He took him to the highest point in the temple, and he said, throw yourself down. Won't legions of angels come and rescue you? And he said, the scripture says, do not put the Lord your God to the test. Ooh. And so when you start using scripture and you try to make political points, you need to be very, very careful, because you're dealing with a consequential result here that is much bigger than any pundit, that any person can bring to you, is you're attempting to use the word of God and to morph it to make your argument, and you're morphing it in the wrong way. He's got a serious issue. But what we need to do, we need to bring the receipts to the American people, and we need to find the reasonable Californians and the reasonable liberals that want to look at facts. Because I'll tell you what's going on. What's going on is he's an effective campaigner. What's going on is he's effective to the media. What's going on is he may turn your stomach on one side, but he is turning voters on his side. Take a look at this. You see that in the lower left corner, Pat?
Damn.
$27.5 million has been wagered, and it's currently, right now, at a 36% chance. This is not polling, so it's not. He doesn't have 36% of the polls. The wagering public on Kalshi believes that there is a 36% chance that Gavin Newsom will be the nominee, and the key two that are right next to him is AOC and Kamala Harris. AOC at 10%, Kamala Harris at 6%, and then the field. So This will change. J.B. Pritzker wants to run, and he's going to put money into it, and he's going to weigh in, and the DNC wants him because, frankly, the DNC allegedly believes that all the stuff that Gavin is doing right now, he's making a bunch of negative campaign ads for himself, Pat. There are people in the DNC that think that all of this activity, all the things he did, getting called out in the mini debate a year and a half ago with DeSantis on the, hey, let me show you the map of San Francisco. This is from your own people. There's a lot of people that are frustrated by that and think that he's just filled the cannon with a lot of negative ads are going to come back the other way. But right now, you got $27 million that's been wagered
that he's going to go.
37%. That there's
and you know what I think. You know what I think Republicans have to be aware of is the following.
This is what I wanted to hear.
What I think Republicans have to be aware of is, there's nothing more. What's the word? The blind spots that come from being super cocky, just because you have Trump right now, and he's the most formidable guy they've had going against the establishment, at least in our generation that we've had, that he stood up to these guys. That doesn't guarantee the next guy is going to be as tough as him. That doesn't guarantee how American people are going to react to Vance. Or
point.
Rubio,
Yep.
or all these other guys. Newsom's going to be formidable. AOC is going to be formidable. Kamala Harris, the worst candidate in the history of my lifetime. I've never met a candidate more annoying and unattractive than Kamala. Kamala's like the girl you went on a date with, and you're sitting when she walks up. It's a blind date. And you're sitting down, you're like, oh, my God, she is hot until she opens her mouth. And you look at the waiter, and you're trying to give all the signals to say, please save me. Please.
Pour hot tea on my lap so I can
save
leave.
me.
Yeah.
Tell me there's a phone call at the front. Say there's an emergency. I'm needed. Please have a fight accidentally break out so I can jump in it and get arrested
Pull
so I
the
can
fire
leave.
alarm, please.
But whatever you do, get me the hell away from this candidate here.
Yeah.
That was Kamala. If I saw Kamala on TV, it was painful, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if Democrats think Gavin Newsom is not going to, he doesn't have a high likelihood of becoming a president, it's very, very high. Very high.
Did you see Kamala this weekend declared that she was the single most qualified person for president ever?
I think the more she does that, the more Newsom wins.
That's exactly what I was saying. And she was on there not really challenged by, who's she on there with?
Is this the one?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Oh, Kara Swisher.
Go ahead.
That is a decent resume, but go ahead.
But there.
Some
people have actually said I was the most qualified candidate ever to run for president.
Oh my God. Is that vodka?
I like the
Is that
some
vodka,
people
Neko?
say. Very nice, but go ahead.
People are saying.
Speaking fact.
But you know what drives me. But you know what? I think
I hope she's the candidate.
Me too.
By the way, listen to me, guys, Republicans and conservatives and libertarians. Just watch, please. Just let's speak. Let's all get behind her. Let's all get behind her. No, I'm telling you. Let's all get behind her and just build her up to get past the primaries. And then let her do her thing all over again. Because, you thank God upstairs if Hillary or Kamala run. You hope they run. Hope. You ask AOC a question, she can give you a nice answer.
Of course.
It's gotten better over the years. I mean, she was a rookie congresswoman coming in, but guess what? She can really put something together, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You ask her a question.
Oh, man.
You ask Hillary Clinton a question, you need like 20 security guards around you to make sure if you're you
don't want to suicide yourself.
you it's a very different thing. But I think in 2028, as we're going through this next process, I don't think Republicans have 2028 guaranteed in lockdown.
I have an idea. I can be her campaign manager. I have an idea. How about this? Kamala, 0.28.
You're so funny.
But I honestly think
let me ask you guys a question.
What?
Because you want to get behind Kamala, right?
Yeah.
If you had to pick the president, the next president of the United States, it's not a Republican, it's not Trump, it's not J.D. Vance, it's not Marco Rubio, had to be one of these three people. Had to be.
Okay,
you know how you play
I know what
Mary?
you're gonna ask.
Mary
Go.
F.
And I'm going to give you my name. Hang
Kamala?
on, don't say it yet.
Go.
AOC, Hillary Clinton. You know how to play Mary F. K. You know that game?
I would choose Hillary.
Hillary.
You would choose Hillary.
Out of those three?
Correct.
Hillary.
Cool.
Yeah.
Got it. Tom, do you have a different pick?
No. If you're gonna play FKM, it's got to be Hillary.
This guy. So we're on the same page. Hillary, cool, boom. But I don't think she's running now. Between Kamala and AOC, who do you pick?
Costa Rica.
Well,
Kamala and AOC.
Well, if you pick
be
Kamala,
the president of the United States in 2028,
Yeah.
you have to vote for one.
It's a bad game.
It's a horrible game.
It's a horrible game.
It's a horrible game.
No,
Who do you pick?
I am.
Who do you pick?
I am refusing to play this
No,
game.
PBD.
Between those two, I'm sitting it out.
Are you ready for this?
You ready?
But I tell you, honestly,
can I give you my pick?
Honestly, it would probably be AOC.
Oh, no, really?
It would probably
over
be AOC.
Kamala Harris, because you know what's going to happen? The same people that were telling
Yeah.
Joe Biden, the real presidents, the Obamas that were behind them, they're running the show.
Guys.
And again,
You know why I would say AOC? You want me to tell you why AOC?
I'd love to hear it, yes.
Because if Kamala becomes president, Kamala's not president. She's not smart.
Thank you.
Okay?
She ain't running the show.
She's not smart. If AOC becomes president, she's at least going to clean up some of the, what do you call it? I truly believe she's a true believer when it comes down to the Nancy Pelosi stuff. I do believe she has, true belief in certain areas. I don't know what Kamala Harris believes in.
So,
she does.
believe me, I'm not going
That, that's a
Kamala.
really good point.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you believe they will actually do and have
So would you rather
the
have a
coalition and
puppet
the juice to do
or
it?
a socialist?
Wait, Pat's bringing up a great processing point. Even if you don't like the candidate, what do you believe they can actually get accomplished and have the coalition and the juice to do it? AOC, I agree with Pat. I think she'll get some of these
Who
things.
do you think can be bullied more, Kamala or AOC? Who do you think can be owned, Kamala or AOC?
Kamala.
Come on.
Kamala's own.
Yeah. So what I'm
Kamala
trying to say
bullied,
is that
bludgeoned, and banged.
No
You
way,
kidding?
guys.
Yeah.
No
well,
way.
listen, that's why
So,
you have conversations.
Both of them have the most annoying voices ever, so let's not discount that.
AOC does
not.
I think
Kamala
AOC's
level?
voice is more annoying.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Have you seen her in the
By
last
the
year?
way-
The way she's speaking, the way she's
What-
moderating?
okay,
AOC
listen.
is different.
Let's just state facts here.
Formidable
Resume here.
candidate.
She's been a senator. She's been a vice president. She's been a drunk border czar. So great. There you go. What the hell has AOC ever done in her career other than hang out in the Bronx
but those are
and
just
advocate
titles.
for
Adam,
communism?
How did Kamala?
What has AOC ever done?
How did Kamala
and
get
if
to
AOC
Congress?
didn't look like a Latina 6, would we even pretend to even know who she was?
They managed to get the Green New Deal in there and get certain things screwed with the
AOC
energy
has never done
industry.
anything in her life.
Hold on.
I want you to
Kamala
stay
has at
like
least
this.
accomplished.
By the way,
Please stay.
I want you to stay in this mode for 3 years so Kamala becomes a candidate.
Yes.
I want you to
Yes.
defend
Guys,
her like
Kamala
this.
is the most accomplished president.
There you go.
Adam, but
nominee
you named
in American
three
history.
accolades.
Stay in this
You
mode,
named three
buddy.
accolades.
So you were one of
How
those
did
people.
she- How did she get into How did she get into Congress? Let's talk about her
Sure.
mayor friend. Hold on. How did she become the vice president? What did she do?
How did AOC
all
get
those
there?
things that you said. But hold on. AOC didn't know people that were mayors and no. Let's
AOC
not.
hasn't done anything.
All right,
She's a representative.
Let me get to this
She's
next
a
story.
loser
I'm not
in the
spending this
Bronx.
much time on this story. I'm going to go to the next one. Vance is the front runner for 2028. Rubio privately confides, Rob, if you want to play this clip, in regards to who is the presidential candidate for front runner for 2028 for the Republican Party. Go ahead, Rob.
This great Politico article that came out today where it talks about Secretary Rubio privately talking about and expecting Vice President Vance to be the 2028 GOP nominee. And obviously there has been a lot of talks already on who would it be, maybe the front runner. Would it be Vance? Would it be Rubio? You know, the figure would be that they would both try to run for. But let's now talk to a Politico right here. One of the reporters on the story. Great article, Diana Nerozzi with Politico. Always great to have you on. And yeah, I thought this was a fascinating look at how President Trump, not even a year into this second administration,
this guy's talking too
and
much.
there's already
Rob, just pause
jockeying.
it, Rob. I can't do that anymore. So Marco has been very clear on that. JD is going to be the Republican nominee if he wants to be. Said the person close to the secretary, noting that Rubio has expressed sentiment privately and publicly. He will do anything he can just to support the vice president in that effort, said the person close to Rubio, who was granted anonymity to share the Secretary of State's private conversations. And no one expects Marco to resign from the cabinet and start taking pot shots at the vice president. So that's kind of where you're at with this. Are you at a point, Tom? Like, is there an outsider for you as well outside of JD or Rubio? So anybody else as an outsider for Republican for 2028?
I think there will be outsiders that try to run because you elevate your presence for other considerations. Many people think Pete Buttigieg did exactly that. Elevated himself so that he would be drawn into the mix, and then he was Secretary of Transportation. So I believe there will be outsiders trying to run, but I don't think they will be serious campaigns, and I think they'll be there to elevate their presence, get a little forward. Now, do I think that people like MTG are serious and it's going to be a distraction and it's going to take well past South Carolina to figure out how we make a coalition? Yeah, I think that's going to be a problem. But I also believe that the Republicans are smart enough right now. And what you're hearing from Rubio, I believe, is this, hey, Marco, you have really stepped it up. Foreign policy, just check the box. You look far more mature, check the box. You got the support of the big guy, check the box. You've got wins in foreign policy, check the box. Do you want to go? We were behind you all for these Senate years. We're there. You have to remember, he's got a coalition that got him to Senate in the state of Florida, and he would definitely carry Florida. And so it's Rubio probably saying, you know what, the machine is really thinking Vance. I'm not sure I want to throw my fingers into the gears of the machine. But I think there might be outsiders, Pat, but it'll be very temporary. You know, there's always 20 people that show up in New Hampshire, and everybody in New Hampshire gets free coffee for 5 weeks because the candidates are buying you coffee to come to Starbucks and hear what they say. I think there'll be outsiders there, but I think they'll come and go quick, and the Republicans will call order.
Because everything that you've been saying with Gavin and all these guys and all the kind of fighting with the Republicans and stuff, I honestly, if an election happened right now, I honestly don't think any of these guys would be able to beat Gavin. And I'm not saying that happily. I'm just saying because the left just votes on feeling. These are the Hitlers and this whole Gestapo's Nazis going to keep going. They take children away from their families.
But that's a good thing. See how they feel in a couple of years.
No, I get it, but Tom, I understand 100%. But that's how they're going to vote. People, the fact that you can cheer for Gavin Newsom with the resume that this guy has, Tom, if he was in charge of like the tour bus guide and his tour buses crashed and killed people and everything, they'd still vote for that guy because it's not the Trump.
He's a candidate, not a business guy. If he ran a funeral parlor, no one would die.
Exactly.
So that's the reality you've got there. But is he running a campaign? Does he know what he's doing? Yes, he does.
Yes, and
it's
scary.
being effective.
It's scary, but because I know what's going to happen with the border. But when it comes to whoever Donald Trump is going to back and endorse to become the next president, it's going to be it might be him or it might be Rubio. The question is, will Trump in 3 years still have that fire and that MAGA push, Pat, to put them over the edge, or is the Democrats, Gavin Newsom, going to be like, no, they're negative?
You guys still haven't given any outsider names.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard.
I would vote for it. Why are you shaking your head?
Well, Pat, define outsider. What do you mean outsider?
Okay, so to me, for think Tucker, Massey, think Jamie Dimon, think Iger, think
on the Republican side.
On the Republican side.
I think most of those names
Tucker.
No,
Tucker.
Tucker.
Well, Massey's an insider.
As a Democrat?
Well, Tucker would be an outsider.
You think Jamie runs as a Republican or
if
Democrat?
Jamie ever did it, I think honestly he could only run as Ross Perot. Honestly, I think he's that smart.
Do you think there's anybody? You think there's anybody that's on the outside
besides a Tucker? No, our draft pick has been assassinated.
You think Tucker will? No question about it. Do you think Tucker will?
No way.
No.
You said no way?
I mean, listen.
Well, his dad was part of the machine, man. He understands this stuff.
I think didn't you ask him
that's why he wouldn't?
No, I think that's why he may understand what it takes to do it.
Like meaning a call to action, like he has to do it?
No, I mean, he through his dad, he knows about the machine. He knows about what went on. Go take a look at all the things he was exposed to. And he sees it on Fox. He would know exactly what would take. And so if he makes a decision, he's knowledgeable. He's not making an emotional decision. He knows what he's getting into.
Who do you think? Who do you think?
I don't know, but I gave you guys a bunch of names.
No,
So I was
fantastic.
waiting for you guys.
Mind you, when I say Tulsi, Pat, I see like poised soldier.
Ted Cruz.
Oh God, no. I don't think
So
you don't think he's
when you say
running?
inside outside, what do you
You
mean?
think he's running Cruz?
So
does he still have the desire? Yeah, but
What
I
is
think
this?
he's an insider,
Rob?
isn't he?
I have a very close friend that's friends with Tucker, and they were talking about a presidential run in 2028. If the guys in the back could not show this, I'd appreciate that.
Don't
But
show
for you
this.
guys, I wanted to show you.
Yeah.
That was Tucker's response to him when he said, "What about running in 2028?" Tucker's message is the bottom one.
basically no chance in hell. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think
read
Tucker,
those
I
last
think
four
Tucker knows
letters.
his position.
But you
he's never expressed any interest in running for president. He's kind of like the Michelle Obama of the left. He could.
Well,
They've never run for
Can I ask you
anything.
one question before you say anything?
Well, he is a man.
Let's say we're getting closer to 2028 election. He knows that the splintered Republican Party, it's going to be this guy. They're all different.
But Tucker cannot win a general election.
Hold on 1 second.
Tucker can barely get through a Republican primary, much less a general
You
election.
don't think he could?
Let me tell you something. This is PBD. I would assume agree, because PBD has done this thing. There's levels to things. You could be the best high school basketball player, that you're at the end of the bench in college. You could be the best player on your college team, and then you're at the end of the bench of the NBA. You could be one of the best players in the NBA. You could barely be a six man. There's different levels to this. The Republican Party has a Trump problem. There's nobody who can hold a candle to Trump. Nobody. J.D. Vance can't hold a candle to Trump. Marco Rubio, Tulsi Gabbard, Tucker. None of these people are Trump. They're all going to have a Trump problem. On the left, completely wide open. This is probably going to be the most wide open election in 2028.
That's what I'm saying.
We're going to have two primaries with 50 people on stage.
Listen,
it's anybody's game.
I'm personally making a few phone calls for some outsider to get in. I think this is a very unique year.
Yeah.
2028.
Okay.
I'm personally calling on a few people.
Okay.
And as we get closer, I'll be more public about it. But I'm personally going to call on a few people for 2028 post midterms. Let's let midterms be done, and then we'll be nominating some people and doing some
okay.
But
if I have to
reaching
do
out.
It, if I have to go, I have to go. I have to do it.
Anybody with a representative in front of their name, representative fill in the blank, has approximately zero chance of doing anything in any type of election.
Can I ask you a question?
General election.
Do you
That is a
think?
challenge, folks. If you're listening,
Go ahead.
Do not let
Marjorie
Adam talk
Taylor
to you
Greene,
like this.
AOC.
Do not let Adam talk to you like this.
Massey.
Do you
Nobody knows
think
that
that
guy.
Tucker? Do you think that Tucker is the type of guy that once he sees the writing on the wall, it's like, oh my God, somebody like Gavin Newsom is going to be the president? He wouldn't say, I have to do this.
Tucker ain't
for
that
the
dude,
country.
bro. Tucker ain't Superman.
No, I didn't say Superman.
Tucker ain't gonna put a cape on and be like, I got you guys.
Adam, I didn't say Superman. I said he had.
He ain't that dude.
I
He ain't
either
that
want to
dude.
hear Pat
He can interview
process this,
people.
or
That's
this was
what he's
make
good
it Israel's fault and fight for real, right? This was one of the two things here.
That who would do what?
I either want to hear Pat process it, or let's just bring Israel into this and go nuts and fight for 5 minutes for real.
Yeah.
So let's.
Is that what you want to do?
Let's go to this. All right. So
I heard them laughing.
Mira, listen.
¿qué pasó?
Denmark, folks. Here's what Denmark is doing. Denmark's government aims to ban access to social media for children under 15. I freaking love
Good for
that.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Go ahead, Rob.
With 14 points about how to protect minors better online. We're standing in a situation in Denmark where far too many young people, far too many children are having a profile on a big social media platform. We have agreed on an age limit on 15 years of age, but with the opportunity for parents to consent from the age of 13 if they want their children and young people to be on the social media platform. Our clear
Guys, be quiet in the
recommendation
back.
to the parents is
Yeah, but
please
guys,
don't
shut up.
Have your children on these social media
I'm thinking
platforms
crazy
before the age
girls
of 15. Well, we're not regulating
She's got a
based
tiger
on
shirt.
specific companies.
Adam,
or
you like
specific
that
In
tiger
Denmark, do
shirt?
they not know when
Regulating
somebody
based
else
on
is speaking? Like, I'd be like, yo,
objective,
shut up.
criteria.
What do you think about pause it real quick? Do you like that tiger shirt, Adam?
I actually do like cougar.
Is that a tiger thing or what is that?
Leopard.
Women like wearing cheetah colors.
Okay.
Women like wearing
Right.
this type of
Dangerous
outfit. By
kitty.
the way.
Okay.
Dangerous cat.
Speaking to Associated Press, Caroline Stage, Denmark's Minister for Digital Affairs, said 94% of Danish children under the age of 13 have profiles on at least one social media platform. More than half of those under 10 do so. So, Rob, run a poll. Run a poll. I don't know if it's run a poll. Okay, so put one. Should kids be able to have social media? One option, at any age. Another option, at 13. Another 15, then put the last one at 18. Let's see what our audience votes. I'm actually really curious. Tom, what do you think about this?
I think it's common sense coming forward because there's, look, you can argue about social media all day long. You can argue about governments. New Zealand got it right. Remember during COVID, actually New Zealand raised its hand and said, hey, we want to put limits on social media for kids. There are three avenues that you can look at very, very clearly, and you can be fact-based, and that is exactly what, at least in this case, Caroline Stage, or Stage, from Denmark, I think it's Stage, I believe it's pronounced that way there, that kids being approached by pedophiles, kids being approached for relation, number one. Number two, the girls and depression and girls and responses to you need the likes and you need all this to be validated, and through that lack of validation brings depression and bad behavior in girls. The studies are out, the studies are clear, and Facebook Meta admitted it to Congress that they had done those things to hook the girls and to cause this. So you have Facebook admitting it. And then the last thing that you have also that you can look to is test scores and education of kids in middle school who have access to social media. So now Denmark is saying, hey, parents, if you want to go through an assessment, and the parents have to fill out an assessment, which my understanding is basically, are you married? Are you involved in your kids? And then you could say, my kid could have a profile at 13 if I sign the assessment. Or they can't have it until 15 because they're just looking at the facts. Mm-hmm. They're just looking at those three simple facts. So I think it's common sense, Pat. I think it's absolute common sense, finally. The people are looking at it. You can see in theaters. Did you see theaters? We go to this thing. Did you see the Dove soap commercial where the moms and the young women are talking about, Dove soap is pure, and it says you need to have pure friends and pure truth. You don't need to have all the social media. You are validated in who you are, and all of that. Why is that all happening? And Denmark, I think, is doing the right thing here, and they're following New Zealand. And I think when you take a look, in the U.S., why hasn't anybody from Congress brought this up? After all the things that happen in Congress, and I'm not out here to bash social media companies or tech bros, but you admitted certain things in Congress. So why hasn't the U.S. put similar, restrictions in place, especially when we have the data on pedophilia? We have the data on girls under 16 and depression, and we have the data on test scores. We have data. So with all these data, it's not one data point, and then you try to make, I'm not running for Congress and I throw up one stat out there and I try to make a story out of it. You've got a list of stats here. So hats off to Denmark. Hats off to Caroline Stage or Stage. I think it's pronounced Stage, Denmark Minister of
Might be strong J.
So yeah.
Might be that.
What do you think, though? What do you think? Rob, the poll has shown what? Almost 4,000 people voted. Look at the poll.
Very
At
interesting.
18 years old, 52%.
Yeah. I agree with our audience on this one, by the way.
By
the way, 3% of our audience is an absolute psychopath. Absolute psychopath. Any age, yeah. Go for it, 4-year-old.
Take this phone, you
Let me
idiot.
tell you something. PBD, I love what you said.
Did we tell them we cookied that
when
poll?
you were being interviewed by Brett Baer at the American Business Forum, which was an amazing event. Shout out to Mayor Francis Suarez for helping put that on. But you talked about the anxious generation. You have 4 kids, Tico, Dilly, 2 girls. You're very, very in this world. Me, Rory, my nephew, just turned 13 yesterday. I said, what do you want for your birthday? He's like, well, I'm thinking about maybe getting a new phone. I said, I'm going to talk to your dad, my brother-in-law, my sister's husband. I said, guys, do we want Rory? He's like the sweetest, nicest kid, tall as hell. I said,
massive.
Yeah, he's tall.
Happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday.
Happy yesterday.
Birthday,
Giant hands.
Good handshake.
Him and Tico shook hands. I go, let's see who's stronger. Tico goes, he's
he's
got him, bro.
he's
And
got
Tico's a
him.
strong kid.
Yeah.
I said, what do we want to do with this guy, man? He's the sweetest kid. Do we want him having a cell phone with social media? We all said, hell no. Hell no. There's a difference between Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok versus, hey, I want to watch something on YouTube. YouTube is just like a world encyclopedia. So there's a difference to this. If you can go back to that poll, Rob, I think there's steps to where you do. Whoever's saying any kid could just watch whatever they want, you're an absolute
3%. That might
psychopath
just
to
be being
reevaluate
funny.
your life. At 13, You should be able to go onto YouTube, do some research, see what's out
Have
there.
a phone just to call your parents and
Between
stuff like
15
that.
and 18 is where these conversations, in my opinion, when do you want to do this? This thing is the most dangerous and also the most amazing thing that any man, as any human
It's
has
a
ever had.
catch-22.
And you're going to put that in the hand of a 10-year-old or 12-year-old? Let me give you a counter argument. I have a good friend. I'm not going to say his name. He has 2 kids. One of his kids is maybe 9 years old. This kid does not come up for oxygen if he has a phone. He is knee deep in this. He has a YouTube channel. He's concerned about likes, clicks, videos. It's genuinely sad. I said, hey, buddy, you're at the dinner table. I did your rule. You're at the dinner table. Put it down. He goes, you're not my dad. I go, Dad, tell him. He goes, put the phone down. He goes, no. The kid is so obsessed with his phone. And my concern is how many millions of other kids are just like that. We talk about anxious
We have
generation.
the data.
Yeah, we talk about anxious generation. What about a generation of kids who this is all they know? They can't do this.
Yeah.
That's concerning to me.
Yeah, in a big way. In a big way. So the poll, again, I'm surprised. Rob, the poll is like 5,000 people voted. 53% said at 18.
I agree with our audience. They're smart people. They've never done us wrong.
53% at age 18. That's some.
Where are you on this?
Vinny,
PBD, if you
there's
were
hope.
voting.
Do you think that?
Pretty
Where would
close
you be on
to
this,
that. I'm
PBD?
pretty close to that.
You're there.
I'm not.
You're
I'm
at least
not-
at 15 to 18.
No. I'm at 18. I'm at 18 because.
So what do you do at 18? Say, here's your phone, here's your
that's-
account?
No, I've been managing all their accounts since the day they were born.
Mm-hmm.
I've been managing their accounts. It's all me. If you ever see anything with their accounts, I manage all of it. I see all the DMs. I do all of it. So if you DM my kids, you're DMing me. Okay? So don't DM my kids. That's what I'm trying to tell
Now
you.
you're going to get business propositions
Vinny,
now. Like, hey, Patrick PBD on Brooklyn.
Hey, Vinny, can I close this out with a question for you?
Yeah.
Do you think 5 years ago, before congressional testimony, COVID, and everything we saw and what we realized about social media and what New Zealand did, do you think that's 54% 5 years ago?
Absolutely
Probably
not.
less.
No, it's
Correct.
less. It's way less.
I agree with you. What has happened? Data and facts. What this tells me, when I see things like this on the lightning rod issue, it tells me there's hope for the California voter.
All right,
Okay.
let's go to
I
this
hope
one.
so,
Guess
Tommy.
what? President wants to send you $2,000.
Okay.
He says they'll issue $2,000 tariff dividends to all except high-income earning people. Rob, has that been announced or no, that he's going to be doing that? Is that a...
He announced it yesterday. I have.
He announced it
tweet.
yesterday?
Yeah.
So let me read this to you for some of you guys, if you haven't received it yet, on what 800 number to call. President Donald Trump on Sunday gave his cell phone number to call for the $2,000 tariffs payments that at any point you can text them. That's a joke, folks. I'm not giving you his phone number. Claim the dividend check of at least $2,000 will be paid to Americans except for high-income earners, saying the country is now wealthy as a result of his tariff policies. People that are against tariffs are fools. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world with almost no inflation and a record stock market. 401ks are higher than ever. We are taking in trillions of dollars and soon we'll be beginning paying down our enormous $37 trillion debt. Record investment in the U.S. plants and factories are going all over the place. A dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. I wonder when. Can I give a guess on when I think the payment will be made?
When has the midterms?
October of 2026.
Yeah, right before the midterm.
Yeah,
exactly.
Smart.
In an ABC interview this week on Sunday, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that he has not spoken to the president about the proposed dividends. A $2,000 dividend could come in a lot of forms, in a lot of ways. Bessent told anchor Stephanopoulos, it could be just the tax decreases that we're going to see in the president's agenda. And, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, deductibility of auto loans. Tom, how important is this, Tom?
Well, I think it's very important, and I think people that want to call that number 1-800-86-NANCY, well, to put their name on the list. I think it's stepping back a minute. I think it's important because he said there's going to be a benefit for all Americans, and I don't think this is George McGovern's $100 trick that didn't work. I don't think this is the stimulus package that Biden put out where he basically printed money, and don't throw the comments out. I know we don't print anymore, but issuing digital currency. I think this is real, and I think he's trying to help people, and I think he's throwing in that little bit, but not the people that are over wealthy. You don't need that. This is for the people.
Let's hear what Mr. Besson has to say. Go ahead, Rob.
I love this guy.
His main argument, though, seems to be that it's about taking in the revenue, and he also promised this morning a
George,
dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high-income people. How is he going to pay that dividend of $2,000 a person?
It's not about taking in the revenue. It's about rebalancing. And the revenue occurs early on, and then as we rebalance and the jobs come home, then it becomes domestic tax revenue.
Are you worried that the president's focus on revenue, though, which is what he's been focusing on in his public statements, is going to hurt your argument at the Supreme Court?
Not at all. It's completely consistent that the revenues come in at the beginning, then as we rebalance, which is the goal of this, bring back high-paid manufacturing jobs to the U.S., then it will then morph into domestic tax revenues. You know, President Trump has consistently fought for the American worker, and we are seeing trillions of investments in the U.S. that would not have occurred without the tariffs. The other thing, too, is the authority that he uses is called IEPA. It is an emergency authority.
Are you sure?
And he used that emergency authority. He got the Chinese to the table to negotiate on stopping the precursors for fentanyl drugs. If fentanyl, hundreds of thousands of Americans dying every year, is not an emergency, what is? On October 8th, Chinese threatened to put export controls.
So do you think good idea or bad idea, send $2,000?
I think it's a good idea.
Tell me why it's a good idea, Tom.
I think it's a good idea because...
It's not buying votes, though?
I think lowering taxes is
You
buying
almost
votes.
beat Adam on the pause.
No, I think, I think
together,
anything a politician does can be said to be buying votes, but there's fair ways to do it, and there's not fair ways to do it.
Because that's what they're going to criticize him for. They're going to say, like,
sure,
he's just, and all these years they made fun of what Democrats do, that all they do is buy votes, and then at the end of the day, that's what Republicans did.
Look, you go on TV with George sucking octopus, and you're going to get that response. You're going to get that response.
You're really going low today.
No, it doesn't matter what you do. It's going to be, you're going to get hit either way. It's you do it and you're buying votes. You don't do it and you don't care about the little guy. That's the way it's going to be spun. It's going to be spun.
By the way, I don't.
What do you think?
How does Stephanopoulos even have a job? Like, if you were sued for however many
Well, there's an
$1 million
expiration date on his career.
Oh, okay, because I would have been like, yo, bro, you're not going to be in front of the camera.
You keep watching. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be this year.
He's
another one of these guys with the big contracts that are getting truncated. And the contracts are going to be lower, or he's not going to be in the chair. Mark my words. You know what? Tag this, and let's go 12/31 of next year and go see what has happened.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you what's happened in the media landscape. You wait and see. Allen Conference is coming.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
You said... What do you think?
That was another pause. You're about to go over Bidenville again.
Go. Sorry, my brain is
like a malfunction.
You're going to start shaking hands.
I'm telling
you're
you,
going to be
I'm
like
not functioning normally today. I'm going...
You're going to be unburdened by what could have been.
Do I think that they should send $2,000 stimulus checks to people? Hell no. You know how much money they send to people? Zero. Absolutely zero. Stop giving people money. Stop printing more money. It doesn't work. It's never worked. These stimmy checks where you're sending people $500,
Vegas is failing.
$1,400,
$3,000.
You're making the country broke, and you're making broke people feel somewhat wealthy for about 5 seconds. And then they go spend that money, and it circulates back to the economy, and that broke person who doesn't know how to spend their money stays broke, and the money flows where? Up or down, PBD? Flows to the top. Stop printing money. Zero. The COVID stuff, $5 trillion. The CARES Act, the TARP, the American Rescue Plan. Enough with giving people money.
Yeah.
It's not about buying votes. It's about we're $37 trillion in debt, and you want to give every American $2,000?
So here's the challenge.
Save that money, idiots.
Yeah.
We're not giving you any more money.
So here's the challenge. The challenge with that is, as great of a, common sense message it is, I get it. This is the challenge right now. And I challenge is, you've already brainwashed everybody into where we are today with the debt system, right after we got off the gold, it's where we are today. This is America, right? This is the new America with debt. For somebody to come in to want to pay off the $37 trillion of debt, you almost have to be a 5-term president. You need 20 years.
Trump 2045. Everybody.
You need 20 years to be able to put that together. So let's just say you save the money. Next guys come in, they spend the money, and then they win. We're going to give you free. We're going to, lower. We're going to give you free. We're going to give you free. And it's like the back and forth. And you know what happens every single time? Debt increases whether it's a Republican or a Democrat. It's not like, now the difference here is this tariff thing is so sexy to me. Let me tell you, it's so exciting and sexy to me because I think it's a real way for us to pay off some of that debt. That excites guys like me. But unfortunately, if we were to get, Tom, if we were to get a land, okay, real nice mountains, on the water, both sides, and you were giving us 10 million people, you know what we would do, Tom? We wouldn't allow everybody to vote. We wouldn't. We would treat it like a company. Shareholders get to vote. Mm-hmm. Everybody else, you don't get to vote. Decisions are going to be made by people that contribute to society.
For sure.
That is the biggest problem we have in America because common sense policies won't permanently win because the way you get to vote in America.
I hope this doesn't upset you, but we should put the link to something you did, I think it's now 7 years ago, which was in the analysis of who gets to vote and how many votes you get. It was a lightning rod at the time, but maybe put the link in the comments here. People go back and look at that because it talked about, hey, stakeholders and contributors, you vote.
That's such an old video, Tom. It was, well, let me tell you, if I put that up there, here's what I made. Rob, we may put the unlisted version of it. Here's what we'll do. If for those of you guys that are on the PBD podcast circle, if you're in it, that video I don't think is...
Is that it, Pat?
No, that's not it. It's a different one. That's not it. It's a different one. Rob, if you can just text it to me. Text it to me if you can. No, that's a conversation that we had. But I'm going to find the old one where...
you laid out the logic.
I did, but it's gonna piss off so many people.
Good.
Well, not the people that read the logic.
And remember, I shot this video April 15th of 2014.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
This is how many years ago? 11 and a half years ago. Wow. And guess what jersey I'm wearing? How weird is this? Look at the jersey I'm wearing. This is like a, you know what jersey I'm wearing, Vinny?
Sabonis?
No, I'm wearing a, yeah.
Or Vita Sabonis?
I'm wearing
Trump?
I'm wearing a Yankees jersey.
Wow.
I love it.
Okay, forecasting. Look at this.
I love it.
You know what? I'm gonna post it, Rob. I'm gonna post this in.
It was April 15th, right?
April 15th,
and it was 4 in the afternoon after you'd written the check, so you're in kind of a bad mood.
Can you imagine? It's like, you better go earn the right to damn vote. If you want to see it, Rob, give him the link to the circle, and I'm gonna put that link. I just want to make sure we made it unlisted and not private, because I don't want it to be. I think it's an unlisted video. If Humberto's listening, Humberto, if you can make it unlisted, that will be great. And then just text me back the video. I'll text it to Humberto so he has it as well.
Hey, Pat, just really fast about the tariffs, Tom. Like, you know how, every single thing that the president has been trying to do, they have to oppose it. Every single thing, right? Even the tariffs, didn't it go to the Supreme Court that they're trying to fight to reverse what he's doing and bringing in billions of dollars every single month? But you morons are out there like, no, we don't, this is unconstitutional. And they're literally, I think November 5th, they heard oral arguments about it. They're trying to reverse the tariffs where this freaking guy is trying to make us money. What the hell is wrong with what's wrong with the Democrats?
So let me see. The Democrats want the Supreme Court to say you didn't have the authority to do that. So the tariffs get pulled back. So the economy becomes really worse. What? And it goes from almost crap to complete crap in time for the elections next year. So tell me what you don't understand.
Oh, now that you clarify like that, I'm good.
That's exactly right.
I'm good.
And by the way, to 350 million of you, to hell with you guys. We're going to get power.
Yeah, exactly. So good for you.
It's not a Rubik's Cube.
No.
I'm going to go to this next story. Vinny, what do you know about this pipe bomber story?
Okay,
that doesn't add up. Can you tell us about
Are you ready
the
for
story?
this?
Yeah,
So, Pat,
tell us.
We're ready, Vinny.
It's
We're
been
ready.
and again, you're not going to see it mainstream media. It's not going to be all over the place because you know who runs the mainstream media. So it's going to be people like us on the PBD podcast. Rob, I sent you there's two tweets, one by Thomas Massey, and one of the tweets he says, America is waking up today to learn that Capitol Police turned CIA orchestrated the pipe bombs on January 6th, and the FBI has covered it up for over 4 years. I questioned FBI Director Wray, ATF Director Dadelbach, and FBI Assistant Director over DC, the Antono, under oath, all played dumb. And there's one more he posted, Robbie. It says, you might be able to find it. He goes, this is the biggest scandal of my lifetime. Steve Baker did what an $11 billion agency, the FBI, could not do, or worse yet, covered it up. He identified the January 6th bomber, and she wasn't working alone. Ready for this? Cash Patel needs to make a statement tomorrow when this breaks. So Steve Baker, who works for The Blaze, he did reports of a forensics gait analysis, GAIT, which is technology used to compare a person's walking pattern. It produced a 94% match between the unidentified January 6th pipe bomber, former Capitol Police officer Shawnee Ray Kirkhoff, who served with the department until 2022, according to the report. This analysis came from internal video footage reviewed by investigative searches. So, Adam, somebody reviewed for God knows how long the way this person was walking. There was moments where she allegedly was messing with her bra and stuff. The FBI has been searching for this person that put 2 live pipe bombs the night before the Capitol riot. Think about the timing, guys. One outside the RNC headquarters and one outside the DNC headquarters in Washington. Each device was actually real, equipped with a 1-hour kitchen timer, placed around 8 p.m. on January 5th. They were found just before and during the attack of the Capitol the following day. Now, think about this. The authorities believe the goal was planting these bombs, Adam, to distract and divide law enforcement. Because think about it. They know the attack was coming. They're like, how do we divert cops to make sure the shit burns? Okay, that's what they did. Okay, so as of now, today, the FBI has the investigation remains open. There's a $500,000 reward for information leading to the arrest.
But who's the person they showed?
So see that person on the left? They're alleging.
No, you had faces on the screen a second ago. Who are those people?
What do you mean?
Oh, this tweet right here.
Oh, that's allegedly her. That
And
person
they
that you
can't
think.
find her,
No, what do you mean?
him?
No, Adam, you're not paying attention. They're right now. They're saying that on the outside, that's her. That's her. It took this long for an investigative journalist.
Where is that person located today?
She works for the CIA. Well, allegedly she works for the CIA now. So she was a Capitol Police member.
Have they brought her in for questioning?
No, Adam. No, nothing yet.
What do you mean they haven't brought her in for
No,
questioning?
Adam.
What's her name?
This just broke. Her name, Pat, is I'm sorry, Shawnee, Shani, and then Kirkhoff, Kerkhoff. I believe she is a.
And they're alleging that.
This is all alleged. This is all Blaze.
That name has come out
Did
of
any of these
multiple
pipe
news
bombs-
outlets, right?
This is a Blaze
Vincent,
media report. Yes.
Did any of these pipe bombs go off?
No, Adam, and that's the whole thing. That it was just the actual bomb was real, but you know what they did, Adam? They wanted to distract. Listen to me. They wanted to distract and get agents and cops and Capitol Police away from January 6th. Okay, so now here's the
Capitol, you
thing.
mean?
No, from the Capitol. I'm sorry. So think about it. Now, really break it down. Is it that far fetched that they had informants everywhere in the crowd? Pelosi is on camera, guys, on camera saying, no, National Guard, I should have brought them and I should have done this. And you mean to tell me all these years later, with all the people they arrested, all the grandmothers, you can't find this person with all the geo-tracking and fencing and all that nonsense? So, again.
So, Vinny, what's your point with this?
My point is, Adam, this thing that we've just let go, January 6th was a setup from the beginning to the end to not only arrest all these January 6 people, it was to make sure, this was one ploy, Adam, never to let Trump get back into office. And if we go back from Russia collusion to the freaking impeachments to shooting him in his head to having another dude at the golf course that wanted to assassinate him, when I say that these FBI, and just an FYI, guys, John Brennan, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, they all just got another subpoena for their role. By the way, this is the FBI, Adam. That's why, you know, when you talk about trusting all these people that are in the FBI, this agency from Comey and all these people have been so freaking corrupt and so weaponized. It's unbelievable. And I think, going back to Nancy Pelosi, I think one of the reasons she is stepping back, because obviously she's made all the money, she's implicated in all this. She's one of the main ones that was like, nope, not National Guard, do all this. I believe, Adam, they all knew. Okay, that's why they were arresting grandmothers. They arrested people that weren't even at January 6th because this was going to be their I got you. He orchestrated a insurrection, and he'll never be able to run for the president of the United States. Because in the Constitution, Tom, is that the Constitution that says if you have an insurrection towards the government, you can never become the president?
That's why all the media was told to use the word insurrection, because that's the word that was in the Constitution.
By the way, Vincent,
yes,
did you see this other story about BBC?
I love that. Pat, do you mind if I roll this story right into it, guys?
So let me just read the title for you.
Read the title.
The BBC is expected to apologize after using doctored footage of Trump's January 6th speech in documentary. They're expected to apologize after using doctored footage. The mea culpa clip comes after Michael Prescott, the British network's former editorial guidelines and standards advisor, released a damning 19-page report alleging widespread bias within the organization, highlighting warnings he issued in May about the doctored speech. According to the outlet, do we have the difference of what they did? I think they spliced it.
And just for a quick,
cut
Adam,
it, flipped it, ripped it upside down.
To add to it, a whistleblower inside the network revealed that the edit came for a peaceful. Trump was saying be peaceful and patriotic, but they made it look like he was trying to incite violence.
Go ahead, play the clip, Rob.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down.
Hold on, pause. That was the
BBC doctored. It makes it. What does it make it sound like? He's saying, guys, we're going to go down there. We're going to fight. We're going to cause problems.
So play the original.
This is the original.
Walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Now, and guys, doesn't this?
So they added the fight like hell part from a different section.
Yeah.
Edited it.
Yeah.
Sounds like somebody got some explaining to do. So, by the way, didn't Trump sue, I believe, 60 Minutes for the Kamala thing and win?
This is coming.
$17 million, whatever
if you don't
it was.
think
the Trump Library is basically funded by media organizations.
Hold on, Vinny, let me understand something.
Go ahead.
Are you saying that the mainstream media has been lying and doctoring and editing and been against Trump this entire time? Is that your claim?
Have been tools of the FBI
Is that what
and
you're trying to
insiders?
say, Vinny?
And mind you, yes, Adam, this is BBC.
Shocking.
This is another country's mainstream media. What are you getting off? What are you doing? Okay, and by the way, this is the same media. They twisted his Charlottesville thing when he tried to do it made it seem like he was praising the white supremacists, even though he was condemning them. By the way, let's not forget, okay, who BBC is. They're the same network that protected, we talked about this, Jimmy Savile. For decades, he was sexually abusing hundreds of victims, including children. Internal investigation shows that the producers and executives ignored and buried complaints just to protect the brand. That's the BBC. And Rob, you're going to love this one.
BBC is like the MSNBC or
Adam,
left-wing CNN.
Rob will know
UK.
exactly who this is. This is the same BBC that on 9/11.
And the MI6 megaphone, by the way.
On 9/11,
So
BBC. Can I finish what I'm saying, please?
Sorry, buddy.
What's happening? I'm trying to finish what I'm saying. The same BBC that on 9/11 went live and announced that building number 7 collapsed. All the time, it was still standing behind them, and the reporter was Jane Stanley. I know it's going to happen that Trump goes after them because, mind you, this is connected to January 6th. They pulled support away from the Capitol because they wanted it, Adam. They wanted pandemonium. They took peaceful people. They shot them with tear gas. They shot them with bullets. You had people like Ray Epps, who got a slap on the wrist misdemeanor, saying, we're going into the Capitol. We're going into the Capitol. And it failed. And I hope they all get accountable. And whoever that Shawnee Ray Kirchhoff is, I hope they're doing an investigation right now to find him.
Rob just pulled this up. Good find, Rob. BBC to apologize deceptively editing President Trump's January 6th speech in an effort to make it look like he encouraged violence. The apology letter is reportedly coming next week. Samir Shah, BBC chairman, will write to the Culture, Media, and Sports Committee on Monday to express regret for the way the speech made on the day January 6, 2021 Capitol riot was spliced together. The Telegraph reported BBC's Director General Tim Davey and Shaw were both allegedly warned about the doctorate footage in May, but decided to keep quiet.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Is
So
Tim
they
Davey
knew
the
about
one that
it.
resigned? Who
Can
resigned?
you pull up who these guys are,
Who
Rob?
resigned last night? Somebody resigned.
Yeah, I'll tell you who resigned. Davey. Tim, yesterday, BBC's Director General Tim Davey and new CEO Deborah Turnus resigned after controversy after the speech. This guy's bye-bye.
Right, and so Davey resigns, and now they're going after the Shah.
The Shah. No.
Won't be the first time they went after
Exactly. PBD.
Yeah.
They're issuing an apology as if they think it's going to end there.
No, it's definitely
Trump's
not.
going to sue them, yes?
Yeah. You would assume
he's sued all
suing
these other
everybody.
outlets.
That Trump library getting
The Jerky Boy, sue everybody.
And by the way, he's probably going to win.
Adam,
Probably.
This is proof. This is another couple $1 million.
Look, all these outlets that have been lying and gaslighting the public, they're going to receive their accountability in the form of a paycheck.
That's what I'm saying. We have the House, we have the Senate. I think
You divided
they
America.
need to go harder.
And you impacted
Exactly.
another country's election
Exactly.
publicly, and you manipulated where everybody said this guy was rooting for violence. So yes, there needs to be a certain level of accountability being held there.
Bro, I remember watching that speech and being like, this mother effer.
Of course, you got duped. I don't
I'm
blame
not
you.
going to bring this up again. This is why you say I'm the biggest Trump guy. I fell for all the lies.
Well, I don't blame you because if you're watching that
And I'm
network,
watching the
Adam, you're
news, and
good.
what am I gonna think?
It's
He's
not your
probably
fault.
edited it.
Adam, it's not your fault.
But now,
Adam.
no,
it's not-
Vinny, you got to understand.
Adam,
What, Vinny?
it's not your fault. Don't.
Vinny,
Good Adam hunting.
I'd like to add something quick. Yeah. Vinny, you're not crazy. During the drug wars between the Crips and Bloods and that were in L.A., I'm telling you, this really happened.
This is what
I had a family
gang
member
violence.
that was part of the paramedics, and I also spoke to other people who were paramedics. And at that time, the paramedics would be coming down to a shooting, and they would hear additional shots. It was supposedly FBI later figured out who wanted
to reroute them to
who wanted to keep the wars going between Crips and
Wow.
Bloods, and they would fire additional shots. Well, guess what? The paramedics would stop at a perimeter before they're going in to get the victims of the shooting, and they would hear the extra shots, and they're waiting for LAPD, crash units, and all the things there. They're waiting for all them to get in there and for the to stop. Meanwhile, the guys that were shot are bleeding out. And the violence was suppressed, and they say that it was actually our government that wanted. And if you read the history of the drug wars and Crips and Bloods, they were bad, and they had stuff going on. But there was also government manipulation that was going in there, and also the country of Mexico and a group that was called the South, which was the gangs that were from Mexico in L.A. were known as the South. And so it's not the first time the government has thrown a distraction over here to keep it going on over there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that story, Tom. By the way, I thought you were going a completely different direction. I thought you were going to be like, listen, when I was gangbanging with the Crips and the Bloods, let me tell you.
Fool, what's up?
Adam, it's about how the
Vinny.
government wants something
Joe
to
Brown
happen
about
over
this
here,
stuff.
and they're actually part of it behind the curtain.
Guys, let's go to another story here. For those guys that are cops, NYPD already losing officers with morale plunging as anti-cop Zohran Mamdani prepares to take reins. Rob, I don't know if we have I don't think we have a video on this. Maybe just pull up the story that you have. Okay, so let's see what's going on over here. Okay, what is this? Cops? Why are you mean to tell me like cops don't want to work for Mamdani?
What?
Doesn't seem like a nice.
No.
He
Defunding him?
admires you. He admires what you're doing, folks. As NYPD exit is already underway with a surge of officers quitting in a month leading up to anti-cop socialist Mamdani's win, and more might go if Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch exits, according to data. The NYPD saw 35% hike in cops of all ranks leaving in October, 245 officers compared to 181 same year. According to the pension fund, morale is down because everyone is concerned about the police Mamdani wants to put in place, said Detectives Endowment Association President Scott Munro. You have a person who is supposed to be running New York City that does not believe in law enforcement. What's coming out of everyone's mouth, we're in trouble. Whether more cops leave in the coming months will depend on the Tisch factor, police union said. If she leaves, it may result in an uptick, the sources said. If she stays, maybe not. So it will certainly get worse if our city leaders don't work with us to fix unsustainable workload, our expired contract, and the constant second guessing that is driving good cops away from the job. Can you pull up who this lady is, Rob? Can you pull up who she is? what's her name? Tish is the last name.
Jessica Tish.
Jessica Tish. Can we see who Jessica Tish is? Tom, what do you know about her, Jessica Tish? Can we go to Wikipedia, please? Go to see what her background
Tish, like
is.
from the famous Tish family?
Tish. Okay, is an American previously served as Commissioner of New York City Sanitation. So she's apparently respected. Tish was
the Tish
born.
family is...
Meryl Tish, CEO of Lowe's Corporation. She received a Bachelor of Arts in 2003, Harvard University, which of JBM. And Tish began her career with Counterterrorism Bureau of New York City, department facilitated by Commissioner Raymond Kelly. She went to hold office positions within the agency. In 2014, February, she was appointed Deputy Commissioner of Information Technology. What is her background politically? Tish was appointed by Mayor Adams.
After being appointed by de Blasio.
So then why are they saying that if she is Jewish,
let's go down
married
to
to Daniel Zachary,
this is a billionaire family,
Rabbi Philip Hyatt at synagogue, go a little bit lower. Okay. De Blasio, Democratic Party, Tish, New York, Harvard. So why are they saying if she leaves, more will leave? Why are they saying that, Rob? Do we know?
I don't. Let me take a look.
Is she kind of a law and order liberal? They do exist with her family.
Tish, Tisch. Is that what it is?
Well, her dad was the
Lowe's.
Yeah, Lowe's Hardware.
Yep.
So maybe unrest means, you sell more stuff at Lowe's to rebuild it.
Many officers morale is down. NYPD reportedly the concern among the Tish is viewed as by many as a stable force, a leader they trust, especially during the time of proposed reforms to policing and large changes in public safety priorities. Her potential departure is seen as leaving them vulnerable or signaling instability. The incoming measures apply from significant restructuring, for example. Some insiders argue that if Tish will leave, it would be a flashpoint, a signal to officers that leadership is unstable. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Interesting. So she's an influencer. People trust her. Tom, Tom, how bad do you think this is going to be with cops leaving?
I think it's going to be very bad, and I am sending a link to Rob right now. Hopefully you got this, Rob, because it's being noticed across the United States. What do you think of New York cops? Pretty good? Pretty tough?
I think so.
They have to be.
They are together. When you see funerals that are there, the cops, they are together. They operate, very well. People say, well, you don't know all the New York cops. No. 98% of these New York cops are tough. They love their city.
I've had nothing but great experiences.
Me
with
too.
them.
Yep. Me too. And I think it's a shame what's happening to them. The brotherhood of the New York Police Department has always been tremendous. We saw what they went through on 9/11. We saw at the New York Fire Department. These are some of the toughest, most dedicated men serving, and we meet them. I have met more than one. As a matter of fact, this year, Kim and I played golf with a retired New York cop and his wife. He retired down here. And he had a little bit of a limp, and I said, "What's going on?" He said, "I got to have my hip replacement. I was beat cop for many years, and Medicare is going to get me my hip replacement." And because you could see he had a little bit of a favoring it, but he was just a great guy, and you talk to him about stuff, and he was not a Trumper guy. He was a pure independent guy, and I think he was just a perfect example of what these New York cops are. They are great. They're well trained, and there's some percent of them that are what they are, and gave into
always going to
corruption,
have that.
which I imagine
you're
going to have.
Nobody's going to be
anything.
100%.
But what's interesting, there are many cities that know how good New York cops are. Pat, you know what one of them is? Houston. They know how good New York cops are. And the Houston Police Union, they're unionized in Houston, invites the NYPD officers to work for Houston. Come to a state with no income tax. Come to a little bit better weather. Come from the first largest city in the United States to the fourth largest city in the United States. Come on down. And that's what I think. So I think that if her bio shows up to be true, and then somehow she's moved out, and the comments that they feel insecure about that and feel that would be destabilizing, then they're going to lose cops. But you know what? This case study is played out, Pat. You know where? Portland. And the people of Portland are begging for people to come be cops there. And remember, we saw the signing bonuses. There are significant signing bonuses in Portland. I don't know if we could search for that. What's the signing bonus right now in Portland? It's very real, And so Portland's a case study. You want New York to become Portland? Chase the cops out and see what happens.
Pat, can you imagine your mayor? Can you imagine your mayor on record saying, "I want to defund your police department, the NYPD. They're racist. They're bigoted. They're all the stuff that he said to them. He's pro-LGBT, whatever the hell. Like, why would you want that to be your at the end of the day your boss? Like, are you freaking kidding?
Unless you need the unrest to guarantee there will never be enough conservatives in town to ever unelect you.
Exactly. And then, God forbid, you actually have to use your service weapon. You have to get involved. You think the mayor's gonna have your back? You think the mayor's gonna look out for you? Because
we're gonna see
you
what
guys
happens.
nailed it. Hold on, real quick. The job of a New York, like NYPD guys, besides Chicago's rough as hell too to be a freaking cop in the South Side. There's neighborhoods that they don't even drive down. Like, the fact that that's happening, and remember during Eric Adams, Mr. Now all of a sudden he's turned the opposite way. Do you remember when the Venezuelan guys were beating the crap out of
Don't criticize him for getting it right.
No.
You can criticize him for his history, but don't criticize Eric Adams for getting it right and saying this is where I stand. Because you know what kind of balls that took in the face of all the people that on the Democratic
But do you
side?
remember? Tom, what I'm saying is when he was in as the mayor, still. And they were beating the hell out of the freaking cops, the Venezuelans, and the next day they got to jail. And they were walking like this, flipping the bird. Who's in charge?
Yeah, well, let me tell you what the problem's going to be. Let me tell you what the problem's going to be in New York. So, Rob, if you can do me a favor, pull up this clip I just gave you, because reality is sinking in New York City on what Hochul remembers. Let me tell you what Hochul remembers with these two. So, she was asked about free buses, okay? And watch what she does. She was asked about free buses. Go ahead, Rob.
I'm from Buffalo. We don't put up with a lot of crap. So I just want to set the stage that, you look at the history of people who've run multi-million-dollar ad campaigns to try and get me to change my position. I don't change my position. So I just want to put it out there. I respect people's opinions. I respect the proper place to convey them. And so I've said to people, I hear you. And that was important. But also, there's a time and place. And so that's all on that. No, I've had conversations on this trip, but many conversations, I'd say over the summer and the fall, that were important, that led to an understanding of what's in the realm of possibility, shared ambitions, but what is doable is the question. And so, no, we're aligned on so many of these issues. I've made it clear where I have strong disagreements with issues that really do not pertain to, the governance of New York City.
Make your point.
Said you need to get a police commissioner that people trust, who has a record of accomplishment.
She says free buses is a no-go.
Crime is going down. Crime is going down significantly. You don't say mission accomplished, but that is a great trend. So him agreeing with that assessment, that recommendation to keep Jessica Tisch.
You can stop that, right? Now, she's saying shuts down the idea of free buses and taxing the rich. She's saying that. What she didn't forget is this. Go ahead, Rob. Play this clip.
Show of hands. Who supports Kathy Hochul for re-election?
It's a decision that should be made after this general election.
So no decision. Show of hands. Who supports?
You see what he
None
said?
of them.
So, no, but specifically, he said after this election. So is Hochul sitting there saying, oh, really? Oh, really? Okay. No problem. You need me, buddy.
Yeah, I don't need you.
So you need me on some of this stuff. So you don't want to support me, so why am I going to support you when you come? So I don't know what's going to happen to New York City. My biggest thing is, as much as we have fun with this and we talk a lot about New York City, we have a lot of friends and family that live in New York, and we want the best for them. And ideally, I would like all of this to be figured out and keep New York City as a special city. But unfortunately, you guys voted for this. And if you say, I didn't vote for this, if you didn't vote for it, you voted for this. If you didn't publicly rally other people to go vote against this, you voted for this. But either way, you voted for this. This is kind of what happens eventually, right? This is kind of what happens. Whether it's, what happened during COVID, the decisions that were made, the people that left, more and more of the people that probably view the world the way you do have left your great state and your great city, okay? And have gone to a different place. What happens there? Who knows? Go ahead, Adam.
Well,
We'll
look,
wrap up.
as you always say, elections have consequences. You know, if you want to just quote Isaac Newton, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So Mamdani is a reaction to what happened with capitalism, and now the socialism is in vogue, and we all know where this sort of story ends. You know, I'm receiving calls, Rob, and I put this number on my phone. If you get a call from this number, just put that face right there,
scam,
and that's going to show up right there, because it's likely a scam. Because he's likely lying to your face. It's likely a Trojan horse. It's likely a wolf in sheep's clothing. And none of what he's basically standing for is what is actually going to happen. So, New York, you know, here's one example. Did you see where Mamdani was this week?
Puerto Rico.
He was in Puerto Rico. So this is the same guy that says, would you go visit Israel? I would not. I only focus on New York. Oh, but you're going to go to Puerto Rico? So what's going to happen is in the day of social media, all the BS lies.
Those are two different things.
That Mamdani,
Puerto Rico is America. Israel is not America. So for him to go visit Puerto Rico.
But it's the same guy who condemns Andrew Cuomo for not visiting a mosque. Why does he have to visit a mosque? You don't have to visit anything. You can go find where the electorate is. You can go campaign where you want to campaign.
Yeah, that's the part of the politics stuff that is just, you know, that to me it's like, you know, it's unnecessary questions that they ask that people are requesting to ask. But the reality being on what you're saying with them, I get it. I get the fact that New York City got scammed with this guy, but let's see what he does. Maybe the controls don't allow him to do all the stuff that he wants to do. Maybe Holker's going to be his number one enemy. Maybe this is going to be a civil war in New York. We don't know yet. Let's see what happens. What we do know is this guy's not good for New York City. That's what we do know.
100%.
These policies have been tried.
Nobody's leaving,
before.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's for sure. Everyone's going to stay, and I think more people are going to come.
Vinny, do you remember the cop we met?
The boomerang is going to come. The boomerang is going to come.
Yeah.
It's going to be expensive.
Of course.
By the way, I was just sent this by a listener, I won't say the name, and sent me that on the inside that said that the Portland Police Bureau is now offering $100 to $120K pay package, and the list of benefits, including health care, are 95% covered. So you only have to take 5% out of your paycheck to cover the full list of benefits. So almost it's like 100
They're
to 100.
begging now.
Begging you to come.
That's what it's taking to get people to come to Portland to be great cops.
Well,
for sure.
I actually wish that New Yorkers will stay in New York. Cops specifically, your city needs you more than ever. Now's not the time to cut and run. Police officers are not built that way. I know it's Veterans Day tomorrow. Our military servicemen and women are not built that way. Stay in New York and make it great.
Look, I mean, you never know. You may be looking at a panel with three different mayors here. You got Mayor of Fort Lauderdale, Tom, soon. You got Mayor of Pompano, Mayor Oshana. And you got Mayor of Miami Beach,
yes, sir.
one day who got involved in the Miami Beach election and wasn't good news.
Stephen Miner, congratulations.
Some people are not happy with
hopefully
them.
we can get you elected.
Not happy with
Folks,
them.
we're not messing around on
Suarez.
this. Stay tuned in the future. You'll hear Pat talk about it, but we're not messing around about standing up and going and serving in our communities and serving as elected officials and getting into the fight. You get in the fight too. It starts with registering to vote, getting people around you registering to vote, and having reasonable conversations with family members and getting people to hear the facts, bring the receipts, move a person, move a family, move a street, move a county, move the world.
I'm Vincent Oshana, and I approve this message.
Yeah, that's it.
We love you, buddy.
Go to vtmerch.com. Veterans, we love you. We respect you. Take care, everybody. God bless. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.